Charter Communications presents the High School Game of the Week. Brought to you by Class A Party Rentals, Enterprise Chevrolet, and Daewoo of Ontario.
On a very cold, football weathery night at Chaffey College, it is the high school game of the week, where tonight the Rancho Cucamonga Cougars take on the Temecula Valley Bears in the Division V Southern Section semifinal championship game. Tonight, the Cougars play host to the Bears. Hi once again, everyone. I'm Rod Shemp, and along with Rich Gardner and Carl Beach, the head coach of the Chaffey College football team, happy to bring you all the exciting action of tonight's game that has two teams, Rich, that are similar in style, that they both like to pass the ball. But talking to the Rancho Cucamonga coaches, what they say is, hey, we pass when we want to, they pass when they have to.
Well, Rancho Cucamonga, Rod, actually has been, it seems like they would be forced to pass lately with the loss of their two running backs. But the key to Rancho Cucamonga's success lately has been Nick Fotia. Not only has he been able to air it up very well, but he's been very successful as far as tucking it in and running it. And he has pretty much been the workhorse for Rancho Cucamonga's offense.
Well, on the other side, you have the Temecula Valley Bears with Ronnie Hill at quarterback. They have Josh Bennett, Luke Raleigh as their running backs. This Raleigh kid I've heard so much about. He's the senior. Bennett is the junior. They're both supposed to be very talented. But, you know, when you look at Rancho Cucamonga, the way they played last week against Corona, they showed that not only can they pass the ball, but Nick Fotia can run it as Jarrett Brown can run that football.
And it seems like both teams are actually on a very good roll, which is where you want your team coming into this semifinal action. Temecula Valley, their record is 8-4. It's kind of deceiving at this point because a lot of their losses were early in the year when their star quarterback, Ronnie Hill, had a broken hand or an injured hand as far as we hear. So having a quarterback of his stature back healthy at this time of the year is going to be the key to their success tonight.
And of course the Cougars are without a couple of their players, Chris McKinley and Moreno at running back, but with Nick Fotia, John Wallum, Jarrett Brown, Michael Moon, they're hoping to have enough to handle the Bears here tonight. We'll have more of the pregame when Rich is back with the head coach of the Rancho Cucamonga Cougars, Pete Fotia, right after these messages.
I have a confession to make. I practically stole my new Daewoo. You see, I bought factory direct. I cut out the middleman by buying direct from Daewoo. I really feel sorry for the guys because I got a whole lot of car for my money. Can you believe a 3-year, 36,000-mile limited warranty, scheduled maintenance, and 24-hour roadside assistance is included? Incredible.
Daewoo in the Ontario Auto Center, starting at $89.99, nicely equipped.
But let's keep this quiet. These guys might wise up and raise their prices.
Daewoo.
The perfect holiday gift is a memory video by Digital Gateway. Imagine the world premiere of your memory video just in time for the holidays and starring you and your family. Digital Gateway can transform your photos and slides into a video montage of memories. Call 980-7808 now. A video memory is coming soon to a home near you. Why not make it yours?
Back here at Chaffey's College, it's the pregame show of the high school game of the week. You can call it anything you want, but that's what we call it. We're joined by Pete Fotia, longtime, in fact, the only head coach of Rancho Cucamonga. Pete, your team's had a lot of success throughout the years. As you've liked to describe this season, it could be a season of destiny, or you're living on borrowed time, or you've been working with smoke and mirrors. Obviously, it's been a great season so far. How do you think the season's going?
I'm amazed. These kids have overcome a ton of adversity this season. We've had an unbelievable number of injuries and illnesses, and we've had to deal with some ineligibility here in the playoffs, and the survivors just keep hanging in, playing hard, and refuse to give up or give in. So I'm really proud of this bunch.
There's an old saying, Pete, that goes, familiarity breeds contempt, and you have a lot of familiarity with the coach of Temecula Valley Golden Bears, Bud Kane. How far back do you guys know, and do you think your knowledge of his schemes will help you in this game?
Oh, man. Well, I don't know if if we're that familiar, but our paths have crossed a couple of times way back in the early 80s when we were coaching in Riverside County. He was at Elsinore, and I was at Notre Dame Riverside. We played a couple ball games, and then we met in '93 in the playoffs here between them. We went down and played at their place and lost a heartbreaker 14-17 with just minutes left. And Bud's done it well a long time, and he's got his way. It's unique, and it's successful, so it's always a challenge. Hopefully, a little more familiar, like you said, and able to, communicate that to the kids. That's the key.
Well, one of the advantages of having a coaching tenure of your duration is you know kids and you know teams. I wanted to ask you a question regarding last week's victory. Obviously, it was a very lopsided game for the Rancho Cucamonga Cougars. Do you think that helps a team coming into the next round having a blowout, or do you think it could give them a false sense of confidence?
Oh, man. With 16, 17-year-old kids, that's a really hard question to answer. It really depends on the personality and level of maturity of the kids. I think this group really just put it behind them and stepped up to the next challenge, and personally that's what I prefer. So there's some momentum there, but as far as overconfidence, I don't think that's occurred.
Okay, well, this is Coach Pete Fotia, the Rancho Cucamonga Cougars, hoping to advance to the finals for the first time since I believe it was 1995, as they square off against the Temecula Valley Golden Bears. A little bit delayed tonight after fighting that I-15 up north. Definitely it's a team that should know how to drive after their Thanksgiving festivities. We'll be back with more of the pregame show right after these words.
Since 1966, Enterprise Chevrolet has been your hometown dealer, providing unbeatable Chevy deals to keep you coming back.
I bought my first car from Enterprise Chevrolet in 1972, a Malibu, and my family and I have been coming back ever since.
You've got to come into Enterprise Chevrolet and experience the brand new 1999 Silverado with an even roomier extended cab, several new safety features, and an entirely new engine. Catch the new 1999 Silverado at your hometown dealer, Enterprise Chevrolet, on Foothill, just east of Mountain in Upland.
Discover Castle Park, Southern California's best-kept secret. With over 30 rides, shows, and attractions, and no admissions charge. It's the affordable family theme park. Kids get unlimited rides for just $12.99, and adults do it all for just $14.99. From 400 games to magic shows and special events, it's just plain fun for the whole family. Castle Park, the undiscovered treasure off the 91 freeway between Riverside and Corona next to Tyler Mall. Castle Park, the secret is out.
We're back at Chaffey College. I'm Rod Shemp, joined now by Carl Beach. And Carl, we were talking about the fact that you've got a lot of history with a lot of people out here today, especially Bud Kane, the Temecula Valley Bears football coach.
That's right, Rod. Bud and I go way back when I coached at Bloomington High School years ago in the mid-'80s, and before that even when he was coaching at Elsinore. And he's taken a brand new program, Temecula Valley, long ago, and has made it just a powerhouse each year. They are seasoned in the playoffs. They won CIF championships. They know what they're doing. It's going to be a great game.
Well, and for Pete Fotia, a guy also very seasoned in the playoffs, and he showed his experience at coaching last week against Corona when they stopped the very talented Tony Davis of the Corona Panthers. Here tonight, he's got his hands full, and it's your nephew, John Beach, has his hands full, coming up with the defense for Ronnie Hill, Josh Bennett, and Luke Raleigh, who he described, Luke Raleigh, as just hitting the line like a ton of bricks.
Well, Temecula year in and year out produces a great offense, and they've gotten into playoffs and won some CIFs with that offense. Bud Kane is like I said, a seasoned person. John and his defensive staff has worked long and hard this week to try and prepare to stop them.
Well, it ought to be a well of a football game. We're looking for a great contest out here. Both these teams knocked out in the semifinals last year. One of them is going on to the championship game this year. We're going to find out more about that when we return to Chaffey College after these words.
Intellectual concepts can only be bust in class with profound effect.
Eliminating school causes even more stress.
Ask a dropout, they'll tell you that life's a mess.
There's nothing like the pride of my high school ring. Hey, it took me 4 years just to earn this thing. Break it down. It's gonna pay bet, and school's your best bet.
You want to get it right and get on the right track. Make something of your life. Don't want to be whacked.
See, this high school ring's the thing to get. So stay in school, cause it's just your best bet.
Leave school for a better life. Wake up and pay attention. Graduate, liberate. You gotta get your education.
Get an education.
We are back at Chafee College. The captains are meeting out of the center of the football field. Nick Fotia, Trayson Lewis, Chris Relaford, and Jared Brown meeting out there. There you see number 33 from Temecula Valley. That is Luke Raleigh, their senior running back. Number 89, Lance McLean, a wide receiver. The referee is explaining some of the things, and we'll have the tossing of the coin. Number 49 for Temecula Valley is Luke Watson. And number 46 is Kyle Batchelor. So Temecula Valley, looks like Carl won the toss and they've deferred. Never comes as a big surprise to us, does it?
No, I think if you feel like you have a defense that's been prepared, you want to put the opponent on offense and see what they can do with the first series and then gain some field position after the first series. It could backfire on them, though. If Rancho moves the football and gets it deep into their territory, then it's a bad choice.
And actually, I guess it was the Cougars that won the toss. They have deferred. They will kick off to start the ball game. And, boy, I tell you, it's going to be some kind of a challenge for Pete Fotia and his group, Carl, to follow the act that they put on the table last week. 49 unanswered points.
That's what separates the boys from the men in the CIF playoffs. To be able to come out and do this week in and week out for 4 weeks and play at a high pitch, as far as just maintaining your composure and playing hard. That's tough to do, and the team that wins the CIF is a team that deserves it usually.
Well, as I said earlier, both of these teams were knocked out in the semifinals. Only one will have that happen to them here tonight, and the other will go on to win the winner of the Altaloma-Paloma Valley football game. And of course, here on Channel 54, we would like nothing more than to have a Rancho Cucamonga-Altaloma final. But there's 48 minutes of football that these two teams have to play to determine who's going to go on to meet the winner of that Altaloma-Paloma Valley game. We're going to be back with the opening kickoff and get this game underway right after these messages.
Creating a successful social event can be very labor-intensive.
It was easy with Class A party supplies and rental, and everyone's having a great time.
At Class A Party Supply and Rental, we'll coordinate everything, handle setup and delivery, so you can have a stress-free soiree. With our own supply store, we give you the best prices on everything you need for a rousing success.
This holiday season, call our party planners and make your party a stress-free success.
Class A Party Supply and Rental on Regis Court in Rancho Cucamonga, north of Foothill, west of Haven.
My husband and I never realized that we could both be buried at Riverside National Cemetery. When John died, all it took was one phone call to Arlington Mortuary.
Whether you're a veteran or the spouse or widow of a veteran, you are entitled to both burial and cremation benefits. Call 1-800-ARLINGTON now to receive your free information packet concerning veterans' benefits. Remember, a lack of knowledge can mean loss of benefits. Call now 24 hours a day at 1-800-ARLINGTON.
We are back at Chafee College. Marvin Clark, Jared Brown ready to field the kickoff from Andrew Mitchell. It's a short kick, and the Cougars have it. It comes to Relaford, and I'm telling you what, folks, it comes to a guy like Chris Relaford. He could have returned that for a touchdown. Chris Relaford sets him up at the 50-yard line. We'll take a look at the Cougars on offense. It's Nick Fotia, 2,236 yards and 27 touchdowns, only 4 INTs leading him out. Up front on the offensive line, well, we're going to do the backs and receivers. It's Nelson, Brown, Wallum, Tuitupo, and Valerie, and we'll get to the offensive line after this play. Well, there they are. We'll get to them in a moment. Fotia has them ready right at the midfield stripe. Swings it out to Wallum. That could be determined a lateral. Instead, it's going to be ruled an incomplete pass. So taking a look once again at that offensive line for the Rancho Cucamonga Cougars, the big boys up front, the Dooley brothers, Justin and Jonathan. Brandon Johnson is the center, Michael Smoot and Michael Nelson are the tackle.
There's 2 different formations here and 2 different plays for Rancho.
Second down 10 is their first play from scrimmage backfired. Quick handoff inside. Not much there for Marvin Clark. Marvin Clark carries the football. And let's take a look at the Temecula Valley Bears on defense. Up front, they've got Chris Clark, Julian Williams, Cole Hilt, and Ryan Forrest. The linebackers, Upchurch, Nick Guerrero, Luke Watson, and Casey Pichard. Elias Ahmad, Edgar Renaud, and Luke Raleigh going both ways tonight in the defensive secondary. Third down, 8 yards to go. Jarrett Brown. We saw this play so many times last week. They run the option, and Fotia, big hole on the right side, has a first down and more. He's down inside the 35 to the 32-yard line.
Great play. Ran the option, dive, the back through there, and no one was assigned to the quarterback that time, and Nick just turned it up the field. Nobody's going to take him. Fullback goes the wrong way there, looks like to me, but nevertheless, the play is successful.
Big first down, and they were set up, Carl. It looked like they were misfiring a little bit on that offense, but boy, we saw this team can really turn it on offensively.
They can spread you out and force you to defend a lot of things, and that's what makes defending Rancho Cucamonga difficult.
First and 10 at the 32-yard line. And off inside. That's Marvin Clark getting duty at the running back position tonight. Down inside the 30 to the 29-yard line.
Well, the way Temecula's lined up right now, Rod, they're putting a big burden on their defensive front to stop them because they're in a 5-man front in terms of, we call it 5 in the box. They have 4 down linemen, 1 linebacker. Everybody else is out in coverage, so those 4 down linemen had better do a good job or they can effectively run the ball inside. Here they're in the same alignment again.
So it's second down 8. They made a first down when it was third down and 8. And it's the same look as Brown comes in motion. This time they give it to Jarrett Brown. He picks up a little bit of yardage down inside the 30 to the 28-yard line. Had the opportunity to talk to Jarrett's father early tonight as they got here. Carl, a real nice man and gregarious, and had a lot of nice things about the job that Channel 54 is doing in covering the football team this year. And his son has told him it's easy when you got kids like his son and Nick Fotia out there.
Boy, they're giving us thrills each week when we watch them.
Tough act to follow from last week. Third down, 5 yards to go for the Cougars. They converted on 3rd and 8. See if they can convert. Quick handoff to Jarrett Brown going by. Slips 1 tackle. He's got the first down as he turns it inside and is down inside the 20 to the 17-yard line, just beyond the 17. He slipped that tackle, Carl. They had him in the backfield.
Well, that's a real deceptive play because it looks like Jarrett's going in motion as a receiver, and then they just turn around and simply hand the ball to him and run the play laterally. And if you're not prepared for the sweep play and they block it correctly, he makes yards, and he did there.
Now they mark him down to just about the 16-yard line. Big pickup for Jarrett Brown. First and 10, the second first down of this drive for the Cougars. They've used up 3 minutes of the first quarter. Wallum will swing out, straight arms a man. Boy, he shoved that bear right out of the way and picked up the first down.
Number 83, John Wallum.
It looks to me like they haven't run the same play twice yet. They are really mixing it up and creating some confusion and a little bit of hesitancy on the part of Temecula.
Well, I asked Pete Fotia, do you have any more tricks up your sleeve after he unveiled so many new-looking plays last week against Corona? And he said, you can only do it with mirrors so often. How do you do it without a running back? You think he was sandbagging me a little bit?
Well, I think when you got a quarterback such as Nick, you can do a lot of things.
Well, because he's also such a fine running back. Handoff inside to Itupo. They're trying to take the football away. Number 63, Chris Clark, grabbing him there. No gain on the play. It's second down and goal as the ball is inside the 5 at the 4. So the Cougars, so it was Temecula Valley that had won the toss. The PA announcer had thought that they won it because they were receiving. But they had, the Bears did win it, deferred.
Well, it's playing into the hands of Rancho Cucamonga right now.
Absolutely. Their offense was faced with 2 third-down situations, converted both. Fotia rolls out, slips, ducks his head, gets down close to the 2-yard line. His footing, he lost his footing a little bit there, Carl, and it disrupted his momentum.
Well, he had, well, I guess it's their tight end. I can't see his number, but you'll see 91 here, Trezon. And then he releases out into the corner. He's open momentarily, but Nick, I don't think, sees him and slips, but he does make up some yardage.
Getting pressure from Luke Watson, number 49. It's 3rd and goal. The ball is at the 2.5-yard line. Full house behind Nick Fotia. Tuitupo. Tuitupo is in for the touchdown. For the Cougars from the 3. 7 minutes, 11 seconds remaining in the first quarter. That drive ate up close to 5 minutes of the first quarter. That's a pretty good defense when you got an offense like that, huh?
Absolutely. In talking to Bud Kane before the game, Bud was really happy to be in this position, to be in the semifinals. They started out 2-3, and which was a little uncharacteristic for them, but he is really happy to be here. But certainly this drive has made a statement for Rancho.
So the Cougars strike first. High snap from center, but Abate kicks it high and through. And with 7 minutes, 11 seconds to go, first quarter, the Cougars break out on top, 7-0. We'll be back at Chaffey College right after these words.
Is this going to take all day?
How long will the repairs take?
Ask him how much it's going to cost.
I'll get to that.
Behind every transmission repair, there are a lot of questions. At Alliance Transmissions of Riverside, transmissions are all we do, so we get the job done right the first time. No hidden costs, no unnecessary repairs. Got a leak? We'll fix it now. The winter months are no time for your vehicle to break down with a transmission problem. Come in now for our special transmission service. Alliance Transmissions of Riverside. We're your neighborhood transmission service center.
Empire Nissan is the #1 seller of Nissans in the Inland Empire. The all-new 2000s are here, but we also have a huge selection of used cars. Take advantage of our first-time buyer financing. What's more, high school students and their families get fleet sale prices when they see Joe Sartor or Pervez Wazi. Empire Nissan is located in the Ontario Auto Center. Mention this ad at the time of purchase, and Empire Nissan will donate $100 to the high school of your choice. Empire Nissan is your hometown dealer, and that's why we're
There you see it, 7-0. Rancho Cucamonga breaks out on top. So the strategy of going on defense backfires a little bit for the Bears here in the early going, and we're ready for the kickoff. Josh Bennett and Kyle Boyer standing back at about their own 1- and 5-yard line as Mark Abate, the junior place kicker for Rancho Cucamonga, will tee it up at the 40-yard line. And you know, Carl, they looked awfully good on that first drive.
They did. They were very similar to what they did last week against Corona, but with less trickery. More of an offense that's traditional and just move the ball right down the field. And I'm looking at the wind now, and we had some serious gusts early, but it doesn't seem to be nearly as severe right now.
And for a team that doesn't have a running back, they moved the ball pretty darn well on the ground, didn't they?
Very impressed with that.
Hard to say you don't have a running back when you have somebody like Nick Fotia. A high kick is going to come down to Boyer. Boyer at the 5. Tries to break it outside, gets to the corner, and there's going to be a flag. It looked like a face mask as he got up across the 20. I think he's going to pick up 15 more while they sort that out. Let's take a look at the Temecula Valley Bears on offense. Ronnie Hill, the junior quarterback with close to 1,900 yards, 17 touchdowns, leads them out. His backs and receivers, the tight ends, Kyle Batchelor, flankers Boyer, Adam Watson, and in the backfield, Raleigh and Josh Bennett up front. It is Chris Clark, Casey Burchard, Jacob Calvin, Richard Mitchell, and the left tackle is Jade. Well, I missed that. Jade Shuey. And so with the face masking penalty, it gives the Bears excellent field position. They start at their own 38-yard line. Ronnie Hill has them set. Sends a man in motion, hands off to Luke Raleigh, and he's brought down after a pickup of about 3. So 2 weeks in a row, they're going to have to stop a good runner, and here's how the defense is going to stack up to try to stop the offense of Temecula Valley. First of all, up front, the defensive line for the Rancho Cucamonga Cougars. It's Tui Tupo, Perez, Treson Lewis, and Cedric Oliver. The linebackers, as they go back to having 4, Sam Thorpe reinserted, Jeff Regina, Adam Smoot, and Alicio Cabildo. The defensive secondaries, Brandon Parker, Marvin Clark, and the very talented free safety, Michael Moon.
The reason they went back to that 4-4 look, Rod, I think is because Temecula will show a lot of two-back offense, so they can afford to put another defender inside and play the run a little more effectively.
In contrast to Corona that put it all on the table with Tony Davis. And boy, what a great job the defense did last year against him. There goes Raleigh, and he lost the football. A scramble for it, but the Bears have recovered at the 43-yard line. And you know, Carl, down on the field, you and I were down there, it's very, very cold.
It's cold, and Raleigh is a big back. He hit that hole off tackle very hard. He lost the football, but if that's any indication of how that fella runs, Rancho's going to have to stop him at the line of scrimmage because he gets a good head of steam going.
He's 6'2", 201 pounds. 2 wides come to the near side. They go with a man in the slot. And another fumble. That time it was Ronnie Hill tried to get it to Luke Raleigh. Raleigh recovered. And the Bears shoot themselves in the foot a little bit right here.
It's important for them to keep their composure even with these 2 fumbles, or that they don't lose it and turn the ball over.
Pete Fotia, I'm sure he would like to have one of those recovered. You get the ball on the ground 2 times in one drive, you'd think you'd recover one of them.
Well, it's hard to believe that this game can be anything like the Corona game in terms of turnovers and the way that Rancho got points on them. You just don't get that 2 weeks in a row, especially in the semis.
3rd down and 9. Hill is going to have to throw. Comes over to the near side. It's complete to Boyer, but he's going to be stopped shy, it looks like, of the 1st down marker. He went out of bounds. And they're going to mark him down at the 46. He needed to get to the 49, and they're going to have to punt the football.
Well, that was a long throw to throw the ball clear across the field. You know, if they're going to continue with that, they better be careful because a defender can step in front of that and take it the other way.
Oh, and with the closing speed of the defensive secondary of Rancho Cucamonga, you better believe it. So they'll have to punt the ball away. Michael Moon backs up. Boyer is also the punter. It's off a nice high punt. Moon calls for the fair catch at the 18-yard line, and that's where Rancho Cucamonga will put it in play. So with 5:39 to go in the 1st quarter, the Cougars have a 7-0 lead. They have the football, and they're out on top, but not quite in the same fashion as last week. But once we can't really say that. Second time they had their hands on the football, of course, was the defense then, Carl, on the fumble by Davis and run in last week by Cedric Oliver.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine that type of game would happen again at this stage of the playoffs.
Well, they started their first drive on the 50. Now they have to go the whole field this time. They're down inside the 20-yard line. Nick Fotia has them set. Handoff inside. Looks like Jared Brown with the football. No, that's Tui Tupo. Tui Tupo, and he moved the stack, too. He got it up across the 20 to about the 22-yard line. So the big guys up front, Nelson, Smoot, Johnson, Dooley, and Dooley, are being asked to carry a pretty big load here tonight, and so far they've done it.
Well, Temecula's sitting pat as far as their defense. They're running a 4-3 defense with 4 deep in the secondary, and they're just adjusting slightly with the motion of the receiver.
They spread the field, as the Cougars love to do, and it's straight ahead. That's Tui Tupo breaking tackles, running strong, running like he did against the Redlands out of the University of Redlands when he had such an outstanding ball game from the fullback position. And that's another Cougar 1st and 10.
Well, they're giving a lot of true option look now with the dive back or running a trap play like they did there, and with the option possibility existing. And so I think they're going to put some real stress here later on the perimeter of Temecula's defense here.
1st and 10 at the 30. The drive started at the 18-yard line. Jarrett Brown, and they love running this play, don't they? There's the option, the pitch to Jarrett Brown, turns it upfield, and just like that, he's got a 6-yard pickup. And is he exciting? He gets those shoulders squared, and he just accelerates.
Well, and let's give Nick some credit on this, because you won't see a better option than this play. Watch Nick here ride the back, come down the line and option the end, and then pitch the ball when he's got him committed, and Brown does the rest with the ball.
Well, there you saw number 11 for Temecula Valley. Forrest tackle him, and that's a sure sign that you did your job.
Absolutely.
Well, they give him a pickup of 8. 2nd down, 2 yards to go. What a great position to be in for a quarterback like Nick Fotia. 2nd and short. He's back, wants to throw, throwing downfield. He's got a man, that's Wallum, complete. And he's pushed out of bounds. He wasn't even tackled. Number 3, that's Andrew Mitchell, who's just 5'9", facing up against John Wallum. That's a mismatch.
Well, not only a mismatch, but I'm not sure the coverage, but it looked to me like it was what we call a cover 2, where the corner stays up and is supposed to press that receiver and not allow him to release outside, and that safety did not get over there in time, and so there's a great big void out there, and Nick simply threw the ball to Wallum, and he made a nice game.
So 1st and 10, that is the 5th first down of the first quarter. Jarrett Brown in motion. Fake to Brown. Fotia turns it upfield, breaks a tackle. He is so hard to bring down. 6'2", 185. There's not an ounce of fat on him, and he runs hard and fast.
Well, this looks like a version of a counter with the quarterback, a quarterback counter where he fakes the ball, turns it back up, and let's see if they block. He's going to fake here, and they're turning, and to see the trapping guard there, trapping the man, and he turns it back up in the hole.
Tui Tupou just threw a guy out of the way there. And look at it, it took 4 guys, and he still moved him a couple of yards after they wrapped him up. Another first down for Rancho Cucamonga. Fotia has them ready. They're down close to the 20-yard line. Jarrett Brown on the quick handoff. He's got blocking in front of him. He's around the corner. He's in the end zone. A 22-yard touchdown run by Jarrett Brown with 3:18 to go in the first quarter.
Well, let's credit the blocking on the perimeter there. I'm not sure which it was, the left tackle or the wide receiver. I guess it was probably the wide receiver that hooked his man, sustained his block, and allowed Jarrett to turn up the corner.
He's got so much speed. We've seen teams try to run a play like that, and the guy just can't get outside. He's just explosive.
This is sort of looking like last week.
Boy,
here.
deja vu all over again. Isn't it a bait to kick out of Franco's hold? And he knocks it through.
Talking to Bud, it sounds like he was very happy to be here. And if that's the case, his kids might feel the same thing, and they may feel like maybe this is as far as we can go. And when the people start whacking you like Rancho's doing right now, it's pretty easy to say, we've done it our best this year, and maybe it's time to go home.
Well, they got to get it going. We'll see if they can. When we return with 3:18 to go in the first quarter, Rancho up 14-0.
A confession to make. I love my new car, but I love the Daewoo difference even more. My new Daewoo includes a 3-year, 36,000-mile limited warranty, scheduled maintenance, and 24-hour emergency roadside service. And I feel, well, guilty. But I take a moment and I remind myself it's good to try something new. Daewoo in the Ontario Auto Center, starting at $89.99, nicely equipped. Daewoo.
The perfect holiday gift is a memory video by Digital Gateway. A memory video allows you to see your most treasured memories on your television. Digital Gateway can transform your photos and slides into a video montage of memories. Memories shouldn't be boxed away in some closet. They should be shared, especially during the holidays. Call Digital Gateway at 980-7808 now and beat the holiday rush.
Kyle Boyer receives the kickoff from Mark Abate, gets up across the 20 to the 23-yard line and hit. And that's where the Bears will set up shop. Their second time with the football. And right now, the offense of Rancho Cucamonga, Carl, you couldn't have it operating more perfectly if there wasn't even another team on the other side.
Well, this is a crucial down because it looks like every series on offense is going to be crucial for Temecula at this point with the Rancho moving the football. They must do something this series offensively to establish some kind of control of the game.
Ronnie Hill brings him out. Quick pass. That time he didn't take so long. Got it to Kyle Boyer, and Boyer fumbled the football, and the Cougars have it. 3 times in 4 plays, they've had the ball on the ground. Hard to hold on to it like that.
Well, I think they must have ridden the same bus that Corona did, because Corona did similar things last week. So that's unfortunate because it was a nice play and a nice game.
They got the pass out there quicker that time, and Boyer had some running room. But the Cougars take over, 1st and 10, inside the Bear 40-yard line. And they spread the field. Let's see if they go for the jugular right here. You see it happen so many times after a turnover. A team goes deep. That's what they're going to do. Fotia going downfield. He's got a man, and it's almost intercepted. That was dangerous as Luke Raleigh just about picked it off. He had several receivers down there.
Well, when you take the ball that deep, and we've got some serious gusting wind now, that can alter the trajectory of the ball, and so, you know, it perhaps did that at this play, because you look at the flag, it's straight out right now.
And in his face.
Yes.
I mean, he's throwing right into the wind, which is something when you figure he let the ball go from about the 43-yard line, and he got it into the end zone against the wind. 2nd down, 10 yards to go, but they've been able to convert every time on 3rd down, so they're not concerned. Quick handoff, Jarrett Brown around the right side. Boy, he's something, isn't he? Down inside the 30 before he's wrapped up by number 43. That's Nick Guerrero.
Well, you'll see on here that they call a hold on number 62, the right tackle.
Going to call it.
The right tackle there is trying to reach his man, and apparently the official looked really hard and saw him grasping him in some fashion.
So the Cougars will be backed up after a gain enough for a 1st down. They'll be brought back from the point of the infraction. 2:52 to go in the 1st quarter. Rancho Cucamonga, 2 times they've had the football, 2 times they've gotten into the end zone. Tui Tupo from the 2, Jarrett Brown from the 22.
Now they might be forced into a throwing situation here, but although Nick is capable of running quarterback draws, we've seen him do that before.
Well, it's 2nd down. 23 yards to go. The ball is now at the Cougar 48-yard line, and they don't need to try to get it all at the same time. They swing it out here. Jarrett Brown, he can get some for you. Down inside the 40, skips over a man, down inside the 30, and he's got the 1st and 10. He is absolutely unbelievable.
Excellent. I mean, there's some real sense of running right there by a receiver who could easily be a running back. He is a running back.
Well, and the thing about Jarrett Brown, we've seen him do so many things that have really impressed us. Earlier in the season on the games, it was his ability to come back to the ball and take it away from defenders. And the last 2 games, his running has just been absolutely excellent. I mean, just unbelievable. Another 1st down. They converted 2nd down and 23. They swing it to Brown, and he drops the football. I jinxed him. All that raving, and he dropped the ball.
Well, he had some big territory to run, too, had he caught that ball. Rancho's doing a great job of mixing it up. Temecula, I think, is just sitting there pat, like I said, in their 4-man front. And if they don't do something to change the momentum of the offense of Rancho with some blitzing or something like that, they're just going to continue to move the football up the field on them.
Well, Bud Kane said before the ball game that it's hard to put pressure on Nick Fotia because he doesn't take a deep drop. It's a quick hitting type of passing attack that they do, and it's hard to put pressure on a quarterback. 2nd down, 10 yards to go. The ball is at the 26-yard line of the Bears. Fake to Brown, handoff to Tuitupo, breaks a tackle, and he picks up another Rancho Cucamonga first down. Tuitupo is running so hard, but that doesn't look good. He's limping, and he's going to limp off of the football field. He's not even going to make it. That looks like an ankle.
Well, if you recall a couple of weeks ago, it's been several weeks now, where he sustained an injury very similar to that, running the football up the field, where he hurt his knee. He had that hyperextended knee, and I don't know if it's the knee or the ankle, but he got hit the very same way as he did back then when he hurt it.
Well, they're checking him out, and we'll come back, see what the story is with the Elias Tuitupo when we return to Chaffey College, where the Cougars lead the Bears by a score of 14-0.
Intellectual concepts can only be bust in class with profound effect.
Eliminating school causes even more stress.
Ask a dropout, they'll tell you that life's a mess.
There's nothing like the pride of my high school race. Hey, it took me 4 years just to earn this thing. Break it down. It's gonna pay off. Don't wanna be in debt. You see, knowledge is success, and school's your best bet.
You wanna get it right and get on the right track. Make something of your life. Don't wanna be whack.
See, this high school ring's the thing to get. So stay in school, cause it's just your best bet.
Need school for a better life. Pick up and pay attention. Graduate, liberate. You gotta get your education.
Get an education.
Number 46, Ryan Perez, the ball carrier.
Ryan Perez replaces the Elias Tuitupo, carries the ball for a couple of yards, actually picked up close to 4. It'll be second down, 6 yards to go as he got the ball down close to the 10-yard line. Tuitupo was able to walk off the field on his own, and that's very encouraging. We would hate to see this young man have to stay out of the game. He's on the trainer's table right now, and I'm sure Rich Gardner will get down there and find out the status on the Elias Tuitupo. Jarrett Brown in motion now on second down, 6. Fatia with the option, keeps it, spins away from 1, and dragged down by number 43, Nick Guerrero, but he's awfully close to another Cougar 1st and 10.
I'm just so impressed. Rancho is just peaking at the right time, I'll tell you that.
Carl, would Nick Fatia be the best gift you could have under your Christmas tree this year?
Well, obviously, Dad has done well giving him gifts over the years, and it's paying off right now. And Mom. Let's not forget Mom.
You could just see him calling this his home field for a couple of years, couldn't you?
Yep.
And it's just shy of the 1st and 10. Third down, less than a yard to go for Rancho Cucamonga. 33, now inside 30 seconds to go in the first quarter. You can see the wind as it ruffles the jersey of Nick Fatia. Straight ahead, the Cougars going right at him. That's Jarrett Brown, or let's see, who's carrying that ball? I think it's that was Perez again, was it? Or was it Trayson Lewis?
I think it's
4-yard line for 1st and goal, Cougars.
So it's a 1st and 10 for Rancho Cucamonga. Fatia came over to the sideline. Just 11 seconds. That's going to be the final play of the first quarter, where the Cougars lead the Bears by a score of 14-0. We'll be back with the second quarter right after these messages.
Creating a successful social event can be very labor-intensive.
It was easy with Class A party supplies and rental, and everyone's having a great time.
At Class A Party Supply and Rental, we'll coordinate everything, handle setup and delivery, so you can have a stress-free soiree. With our own supply store, we give you the best prices on everything you need for a rousing success.
This holiday season, call our party planners and make your party a stress-free success.
Class A Party Supply and Rental on Regis Court in Rancho Cucamonga, north of Foothill, west of Haven.
My husband and I never realized that we could both be buried at Riverside National Cemetery. When John died, all it took was one phone call to Arlington Mortuary.
Whether you're a veteran or the spouse or widow of a veteran, you are entitled to both burial and cremation benefits. Call 1-800-ARLINGTON now to receive your free information packet concerning veterans' benefits. Remember, a lack of knowledge can mean loss of benefits. Call now 24 hours a day at 1-800-ARLINGTON.
Nick Fotia has them ready. First play of the second quarter. It's Valerie with the football. Valerie down very close to the goal line, but no signal as of yet. Joe Valerie, the sophomore, getting some valuable playing time here in the CIF playoffs. 11:42, just the start of the second quarter. The Cougars own the first quarter, just like they did last week against Corona. Heck, they owned the first half and 5 minutes of the third quarter. It was 49-0. So we're ready to go. Second down goal for the Cougars. Fotia has them ready, full house. There's Valerie, and the sophomores in for the touchdown. 11:17 to go, first quarter. The Cougars are on top, 20-0, while they set up for the extra point. Let's go down to Rich Gardner with an injury update.
Thanks, Rod. Well, we saw Elias Tutupo leave the field a little while ago. He just took a helmet into the knee. It's just no audio, Rod?
You're fine, Rich.
Okay. Anyway, he's going to be back in the game. He's got a bruised knee. Expect him to return soon. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rich. So Mark Abate to kick out of the hold of Josh Franco. Remember, it was Franco last week that made that brilliant save of the high snap from center, got it down, and Abate was able to kick it, and that abated the momentum that Corona had generated as they made a run at the Cougars last week.
That's pretty good with those words, Rod. That's not bad.
No, not bad. I'll tell you something, Carl. This thing really could turn out just like last week. We've been talking about it. Temecula Valley, I don't know if they brought a game plan in here. When I was talking to John Beach, your nephew, who is the defensive coordinator for the Cougars, and he was talking about, you know, defensive schemes and everything else. And what happened last week was that they went up against a team that comes from a league that doesn't have a lot of defense, and they were just able to take the Panthers right out of their game plan. And that's what's going to happen here.
Well, I don't know what the number of plays are, but I would venture to say the Ranchos had the ball just about all the time, with the exception of maybe 2 series. I can't remember.
4 offensive plays and a punt.
Yeah.
That's all that the Bears have. And so the extra point is good after the penalty, and it is now Rancho Cucamonga 21, Temecula Valley nothing. We'll be right back after this brief timeout.
Empire Nissan is the #1 seller of Nissans in the Inland Empire. The all-new 2000s are here, but we also have a huge selection of used cars. Take advantage of our first-time buyer financing. What's more, high school students and their families get fleet sale prices when they see Joe Sartor or Pervez Wazi. Empire Nissan is located in the Ontario Auto Center. Mention this ad at the time of purchase, and Empire Nissan will donate $100 to the high school of your choice. Empire Nissan is your hometown dealer, and that's why we're
Fleetwood, Sandpiper, Wildwood, they're all here. They're all priced to sell at the #1 RV dealer on the West Coast, Country Time RV Center. We've got every kind of RV you're looking for whatever kind of camping you're into. Now's the time in the season for sport utility trailers. At Country Time RV Center, you can find a huge selection of fifth wheels, travel trailers, and toy haulers, with all the features and comfort you need for an exciting getaway. We'll see you there at Country Time RV Center, Indiana Avenue off the 91 freeway in Riverside.
So after making the long drive up from Temecula, the Bears are way behind, and they got a long way to go to catch up. They're down 21-0 as Abate kicks this one almost into the end zone. 1 foot went in, but they're going to let number 4, Josh Bennett, take it out. And that's an interesting call, Carl, because in high school football, if you're in the end zone, you can't bring it out. But he had 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
He elected to bring it out. Lewis Brewster informs me that the yardage is pretty lopsided here, with 190 yards of offense for Rancho to 30 for Temecula so far.
Louis Brewster, the sports editor from the Inland Valley Daily Bulletin. He's been around us for most of the games here on Channel 54 this week. I want to thank him for that. Ronnie Hill throws the slant in pattern, incomplete. Tried to get it over to Watson. Incomplete.
Well, you look at Temecula, they're just kind of standing around looking at each other, wondering what's going on here. That's not a good sign.
Well, Rich Gardner's not standing around. He's hanging around with some beautiful women. Let's go down to Rich right now.
You're watching the Golden Bears. Watch us growl on the Charter Channel. Yeah!
Well, the Golden Bears right now would like to get something generated as far as an offense is concerned. Ronnie Hill, quick handoff inside. Carrying the football, that's Luke Raleigh, and he picks up about 6 yards.
Well, the Golden Bears better do something or they're going to go into a hibernation pretty soon.
Absolutely, Carl. 3 and out is not going to do it against the Cougars. 21-0. I mean, it's just like last week. And who would have thought? I mean, last week it shocked us the way they came out. Score off of the Fotia 68-yard run, and then the fumble recovery for a touchdown. A quick touchdown to Jarrett Brown, and that's all she wrote. Quick handoff. That's Bennett. Bennett down the sideline. Bennett has a blocker in front of him. Chasing him is Michael Moon. He can't get him, and he's knocked out of bounds at the last minute. Saving a touchdown was Brandon Parker.
Boy, they needed that play at this time, Rod.
He took off from the 27-yard line, knocked out at the 7-yard line. Quite a pickup.
Well, it's the first time we saw the toss sweep out of Temecula, and they blocked it well. They hooked their people. Here you see him turning the corner, 52 out in front, looking for somebody to hit.
Boy, look at him. He's got a convoy, and he's got somebody out in front of him. That's Casey Burchard. Got a good block there, and what a good job by Brandon Parker. After being blocked, he still was able to get down and knock him out of bounds. First successful play, really, of the half for Temecula Valley. Man in motion behind Hill. Hill hands the ball off. That's Raleigh with the football. Raleigh gets down inside the 5-yard line. You know, they punch it in here, Carl. We've got a ball game.
Correct. But, you know, we saw Rancho last week deny Corona a few times down deep in their own territory. They turned Corona away, and I think that pretty much ended it for them the first half.
Second down and goal for the Golden Bears. So that big run got him down inside the Cougar 10-yard line. Important now for them to punch it in. Ronnie Hill gives it to Josh Bennett, the junior running back. He gets it down to the 2-yard line, maybe down closer to the 1. And it's going to be 3rd and goal. So now it's going to be an interesting decision, but I would imagine, well, I don't know, Carl. I would think that you want to get points no matter what when you're down this close. So if they don't get in here, would you think that they go ahead and put 3 on the board, or at least try to?
I would think so, because they're still within range to win the game, and the 3 points would mean something.
That's Raleigh. Raleigh lunges for the end zone. They're not going to give it to him. They say his knee was down first.
It was, and then he reached the ball over the line, but so they have to mark forward progress. He was short.
You see him come through here. We'll see if the knee hit. There's the knee. Excellent call by the officials. Great job by our cameraman and instant replays. Super job.
If anything, he got a favorable spot on that.
That's Joaquin Duncan on camera down there, and Joe Mesa rolling out the instant replay. A dive for the touchdown by Luke Raleigh. And with 8:20 to go in the first half, the Golden Bears are on the board, 21-6, and they'll attempt the extra point. Coming on to attempt the point after will be Andrew Mitchell.
That was a very important drive for Temecula. They needed to do that to have a chance in the ball game, and the fact that they got a touchdown makes it even more interesting.
Well, we'll try to get an idea of who number 6 is out there, since we don't have him. The kick is good. however, by Andrew Mitchell. And with 8:20 to go in the first half, it's 21-7 Rancho Cucamonga. We'll be back at JV College right after this.
Rancho Cucamonga 21.
Since 1966, Enterprise Chevrolet has been your hometown dealer, providing unbeatable Chevy deals to keep you coming back.
I bought my first car from Enterprise Chevrolet in 1972, a Malibu, and my family and I have been coming back ever since.
You've got to come into Enterprise Chevrolet and experience the brand new 1999 Silverado with an even roomier extended cab, several new safety features, and an entirely new engine. Catch the new 1999 Silverado at your hometown dealer, Enterprise Chevrolet, on Foothill, just east of Mountain in Upland.
Discover Castle Park, Southern California's best-kept secret. With over 30 rides, shows, and attractions, and no admissions charge. It's the affordable family theme park. Kids get unlimited rides for just $12.99, and adults do it all for just $14.99. From 400 games to magic shows and special events, it's just plain fun for the whole family. Castle Park, the undiscovered treasure off the 91 freeway between Riverside and Corona next to Tyler Mall. Castle Park, the secret is out.
You see the dive by Luke Raleigh over the pile. Got in easily, a good push up front on the offensive line. So Andrew Mitchell has it teed up at the 40-yard line. Be nice to have a ball game. And another short kick. This time it's going to roll out of bounds, and the Cougars will take over 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line. So apparently the Golden Bears unwilling to kick it to the talented running backs or the kick returners of Rancho.
Well, both times, taking the ball in 35 isn't so bad either. I mean, that's a guaranteed decent field position.
That's pretty darn good. 65 yards from the goal line. Pete Fotia. Probably not used to this. I mean, my goodness, they got points on us in the first half.
Well, it's important here for Rancho to maintain some momentum. They've had it. They need to maintain it now and move the football. Even if they don't score, they need to push the ball down the field some.
Mike Moon comes into the ball game and goes wide to the far side of the football field. Perez, the lone running back, behind Nick Fotia. Brown comes in motion. Will he hand off to him going by? No. Instead, it's a quick turn-in pattern to John Wallum, and Wallum lunges down to up to the 43-yard line. So many weapons on this Rancho offense.
To the person watching, they would think, oh, that's not much of a play, but when you look at it, that is as good as any running play. They've gained almost 8 yards out of it. Now they're second and short yards. I mean, it doesn't look like much, but it's very effective.
Oh, absolutely. It's second down, a little less than 3 yards to go. Why not? Double wides. Once again, one man in the backfield. Looks like Valerie. No, it's Tui Tupo back in the game. Fotia fakes one man out and goes into Golden Bear territory. What a great move by Nick Fotia.
Well, he's going to run it. When he gets a little grass in front of him, he's going to take it up the field and make some yards, and he made some big yards there. That's what's so neat about having a quarterback such as Nick. He just can do some things with the football that a lot of quarterbacks can.
Fakes one man out there, now just makes a little stutter step, and he really put away number 43, Nick Guerrero. 7:34 to go, first half, 21-7 Rancho Cucamonga. The ball at the Golden Bear 46-yard line. Fake to Tuitupo, the pitch to Brown, and he's upended in the backfield. A nice tackle by Bo Upchurch.
Just got a hand on him. The outside receiver, the receiver there, the inside receiver slot was assigned to block that pitch support person, and he got him, but the guy made a nice play.
Bo Upchurch, 5'9", 174-pound senior. So the Golden Bears, I'm sure, are much happier to be here now that they've got some points on the board. But it's second down, 9 yards to go. Keep in mind, the Cougars have scored every time they've had their hands on the football. And with a two-touchdown lead, that could be deadly if you're a Golden Bear. Quick pass over to Jarrett Brown. There he goes down to the 30-yard line in the blink of an eye.
Well,
Temecula that time lined up in a 4-4 defense with a 3 deep, so you only have one defender out there at the corner, one-on-one with that type of play. Here you see it.
And remember last week, Carl, against Corona, so many times they weren't lining up with anybody deep, and the Cougars just kept taking advantage.
You put Jared Brown one-on-one with anybody, and they're going to have a problem.
He's going to beat him, and John Waldham, if you put him against somebody who's shorter, he's going to go up and get the darn football. The ball on the 30, Tui Tupou back in the ball game. Just really like this Tui Tupou. I mean, you talk to him, and he's so soft-spoken, but what a competitor out there. Took the helmet to the knee, and he's just back out there saying, give me the football.
Well, he's pretty courageous because he was really hurt a few weeks ago as well.
That brings up 2nd and 7 for the Cougars.
And he's playing defense.
He plays on both sides. Comes out for a breather right now. He's replaced in the backfield by Ryan Perez. Well, they've got the field spread out. They love to run that offense. They give it to Jarrett Brown. Turns the corner. He's stuck, but look at him go with second and third effort and get down close to another first down.
Well, a great job of blocking by the receivers that time. The Temecula defenders couldn't come up and stop that play at all. If we see it again, I don't know if we will, but no support on the outside. And Jared just turned the corner, made big yards.
Third down short, a little less than 2 yards to go. Valerie and Perez come back in. And watch this, I mean, Jared Brown is stopped. He's hit, and he just keeps churning and picked up a couple more yards. He's amazing. Fatia with the quarterback keeper straight ahead, and he'll pick up another Cougar first down. They're down inside the 20 again. There's just no stopping him, and you mentioned that before. It just doesn't look like the Golden Bears have anything on defense to stop the Cougar offense.
Well, they don't have they don't match up speed-wise for sure, Rod. The Jarrett and Nick both have more speed than looks like almost all the defenders on the Temecula's team. And if you're faster than the opponent, well, you're going to win the race.
You know what's amazing, Carl, is that the crowd is almost lackadaisical. It's kind of sedate. I mean, it's like they're so. I mean, the team is just they're performing like a fine-tuned engine right now. It's unbelievable. It's almost expected that they're going to score, and I think we're going to have a flag there. Hey, caught Elias Ahmed with his hand in the cookie jar that time.
He had them both in there that time.
He had his hands all over the Cucamonga receiver.
Okay, he waved it off because the ball was not catchable.
Wow, big break for the Golden Bears.
Throw it behind him here. Or tipped. Oh, the ball's tipped.
The ball was tipped, so good call by the officials. They're right on it tonight. It'd be great if we could find out who the officiating crew is tonight. Normally they send up the names. We didn't get them tonight. Game got underway a little bit late as the Golden Bears, I believe, were stuck in that traffic caused by the high winds on I-15. Jarrett Brown turns the corner, but he's not going to pick up the yardage that's necessary to get down to 1st and 10 territory. He's brought down at the 17-yard line. That time, good lateral pursuit by the Golden Bears.
I don't know if Rancho has it, but now, within the next few series, a play-action pass where you faked it, Jared, throw the ball down the field would probably be in order because it looks like Temecula now is wise to the play and stringing it out and making a play.
Nice play that time by Ahmad, as well as number 52, Casey Burchard. Wallem goes way wide to the far side of the football field, but they like to work it to the short side when they're in this type of situation. Let's see if they go to the wide side. Nope. It's going to be Fotia, and he's drilled and dropped immediately by Ryan Forrest. So Mark Abate will come on and attempt a field goal, I would imagine. Yes, he's coming onto the field. So that's the first time the Golden Bears have stopped the Cougars.
This is an important play right here for Rancho. To go up 24-7 adds a little different light to this thing.
That was a good job of Forrest to fight off a block and then make the tackle on Nick Fotia. The ball will be marked down at the 24. It'll be a 34-yard field goal attempt by Mark Abate.
This is very doable for him.
Oh, he was kicking him over the scoreboard in warm-ups. He puts that one up and through. With 3:10 to go.
That's what it's about.
34-yard field goal attempt by Mark Abate puts the Cougars on top 24-7. We'll be right back after these words.
Intellectual concepts can only be bust in class with profound effect.
Eliminating school causes even more stress.
Ask a dropout, they'll tell you that life's a mess.
There's nothing like the pride of my high school race. Hey, it took me 4 years just to earn this thing. Break it down. It's gonna pay off. Don't wanna be in debt. You see, knowledge is success, and school's your best bet.
You want to get it right and get on the right track. Make something of your life. Don't want to be whacked.
See, this high school ring's the thing to get.
So stay in school, cause it's just your best bet. Leave school for a better life. Pick up and pay attention. Graduate, liberate, you gotta get your education.
Get an education.
Once again, it'll be Josh Bennett and Kyle Boyer back deep to receive the kickoff from Mark Abate. It's Bennett at the 6. Bennett picks up some good blocking and then explodes. This kid is fast. Just a junior, and he exploded downfield, and he was tackled by someone just as fast, Jarrett Brown.
Well, good field position here.
Absolutely. I mean, here it is. That line of scrimmage, the 48-yard line. Both teams have had excellent field position, except for the one time that the Cougars started at their 18, and they still went down and scored a touchdown. Well, last time the Golden Bears had the ball, they pulled off a big gainer to get down inside the Cougar 10-yard line. Ronnie Hill this time runs a little bit of a misdirection play, and wow. That was number 45, Kyle Boyer, being drilled immediately by Tui Tupou.
Yeah, that was played very well by the interior Rancho Cucamonga defense. They knew what that play was before it even happened.
Well, you know, I was talking to your nephew John Beach prior to the game, Carl, and they said the difference between the Cougar defense of Rancho Cucamonga and the Cougar defense of Norco against Corona was that when they hit that Tony Davis, the Cougars of Rancho Cucamonga wrapped him up. There was no arm tackling going on. They hit him and wrapped him. Ronnie Hill back, wants to throw in and out of the hands of his intended receiver. He got it over to Josh Bennett, but he couldn't hold on. Threw it behind him a little bit.
Well, so far, the one sweep play for Temecula has been the only play that looked real successful. Everything else has been very, very, very less than average for Temecula.
Well, they reeled off that 70-yard run, and that's been it. 3rd down and 13 now. The ball resting at the 45-yard line, and they need to, I'd say they need to hold the ball here, Carl, because even though the Cougars didn't score a touchdown, you pointed out they got 3 points down. Hill back, wants to throw, chased by Tresson Lewis. And the pass is complete. He got it downfield to Watson. Watson tackled by Marvin Clark, but a big 3rd down conversion for the Golden Bears.
Big one, because it gives them a little confidence that they can actually move the football, and that was a nice play executed well. Here you see 84. The big thing here is he gets plenty of time to throw the football. He's back, drop back, he's taking a 5-step drop and finding a receiver in a slant play there at post.
Well, the thing about Ronnie Hill, his last 5 games, 63% of his passes have been completed. Inside 2 minutes remaining in the first half. Golden Bears trying to get a little bit closer. Hand off to Luke Raleigh, and he lost his footing and stumbled down inside the 35 to about the 34-yard line.
That play looked a little shaky from the beginning. It didn't look like the handoff was very clean at all.
Raleigh and Bennett, the running backs, they've carried the load most of the year for Temecula Valley. As Rich Gardner pointed out in the pregame show, Ronnie Hill had a broken hand early in the season, and they got off to a little bit of a slower start than they had hoped. But they still won the Sun Belt League. That's Bennett with a football, strung out nicely by the Cougar defense.
That was the play that Bennett made the long run on earlier. Looks like Rancho was ready for it that time.
And Trayson Lewis, we saw him step up and have one of his best games last week, and he made the tackle there, but he's also had good pressure on Ronnie Hill throughout the night. I look for him to make a sack sometime here tonight.
Well, Rancho's got two quality defensive ends in Oliver and Trayson Lewis.
24-7. Timeout on the field. With 1:14 to go in the first half, we'll take a break and return to Chaffey College right after these messages.
Empire Nissan is the #1 seller of Nissans in the Inland Empire. The all-new 2000s are here, but we also have a huge selection of used cars. Take advantage of our first-time buyer financing. What's more, high school students and their families get fleet sale prices when they see Joe Sartor or Pervez Wazi. Empire Nissan is located in the Ontario Auto Center. Mention this ad at the time of purchase, and Empire Nissan will donate $100 to the high school of your choice. Empire Nissan is your hometown dealer, and that's why we're...
Creating a successful social event can be very labor-intensive.
It was easy with Class A party supplies and rental, and everyone's having a great time.
At Class A Party Supply and Rental, we'll coordinate everything, handle setup and delivery so you can have a stress-free soiree. With our own supply store, we give you the best prices on everything you need for a rousing success.
This holiday season, call our party planners and make your party a stress-free success.
Class A Party Supply and Rental on Regis Court in Rancho Cucamonga, north of Foothill, west of Haven.
And what you saw there was the tail end of a touchdown by Kyle Boyer. A beautiful pass thrown by Ronnie Hill. He had all day to throw, and he got it down there from the 34-yard line. And let's take another look at it.
Well, you never want a defender to look up to the ball too soon, and that's exactly what I guess it's Mike Moon back here does. He makes a play to the ball, but he just doesn't run far enough, and he misjudges it. And
exactly. He keeps running into the end zone. He knocks that ball down.
Yeah, he just needs to become a receiver right there and just catch the pass like a receiver would, and he'd been fine.
Instead, it's a touchdown. Andrew Mitchell with the extra point, and with 1:06 remaining, it's now a 24-14 ball game. With just 1:06, we'll keep it right here, Carl, and talk a little bit more going into the locker room for Temecula Valley now. I mean, it's going to be a lot better situation than it was just a minute ago, obviously. But 24-14, if you're in that locker room, what are you saying to the Golden Bears?
Well, I think they're in the ball game now. I still don't think that the nature of the way they scored these two times should get the Rancho that upset. I mean, there's a misplayed football right there. They had the one long run earlier. I still think that Rancho's in command of the game if their offense will come out second half and move the football and not allow these kinds of plays. I don't think there's any reason for Rancho to panic. On the other hand, Temecula has some life.
And you know, I don't think it's a case of the Cougars looking past anybody either. I mean, they came out in this game fired up, and they could have been excused for looking past this opponent at a rematch with the Alta Loma Braves. Another squib kick. This time it hits one of the up men for the Cougars, and he falls right on. It looks like Michael Moon. He wasn't going to try to do anything fancy with it. Got the ball, and with a minute for the Cougars, have less than a full field to go to get some more points.
If they could just bump it down the field and maybe kick another field goal, that would be big at this point.
Well, they're going to set up at their 34-yard line, and that's just great field position. You know, it'd be great to find out what's going on in that Alta Loma game. Of course, when people are watching this, they're going to know what's happening, but it sure be interesting to know what the Braves are doing against Paloma Valley right now. Fotia back. He wants to throw. The Cougars want some more points. He's got Jarrett Brown. Puts away his man. Gets inside Golden to Bear territory. Down to the 47. And it looks like he did get out of bounds.
I was beginning to wonder there if he was aware of what was happening with the clock, but he obviously did. He made a move inside and cut back out and got out of bounds.
Well, and I don't know if he did for sure, but they stopped the clock to move the chains, and the Cougars are ready. Great job, senior leadership by Nick Fotia. Little quarterback draw, and he gets down inside the 35, and he calls a timeout. Thought he might, because I don't think they've used any of their timeouts. I think that's their first timeout.
See how they manage the clock here with 44, and with this offense, they have plenty of time.
44 seconds, and I was talking to, had a lot of time before the game, and I was talking to some of the fans and what they thought about this game and what might happen next week should these Cougars have a rematch with Alta Loma. And one fan mentioned that, hey, you know what, the way they played against the Braves in that ball game, you take away the shabby way they played in the first half, because remember in that game they fell behind 33-6. It could be a whole different story this time around, because the Cougars are peaking at a perfect time.
Well, and that's right. And, you know, let's give Alta Loma some credit, too. They're going to play Paloma on Saturday night in the other semifinal
Oh, that's
game.
right. That's going on tomorrow, so we will know. There you go.
And so I would be a great matchup. I'd love to see them both get at it again.
Oh, absolutely. What a great thing. Can you imagine two teams that put on such a great show in a rematch for all the marbles in the CIF title game? Fotia swings it out to John Wallum, and Wallum is down the sideline, gets out of bounds at the 29, no, right at the 30-yard line. Wallum knew what he needed to do, got as much yardage as he could, and got out of bounds.
You know, that pass that Nick threw is not an easy pass. That's a long ways. You have to throw the ball quickly. It has to be accurate and get it in the receiver's hands so Wallum can do something with it. So it was an excellent pass. Excellent
He sure makes it look easy, though, doesn't he?
Sure does.
38 seconds. That play took 6. 6 seconds of play. They've got 6 more plays to run. Fotia back, wants to throw. Throws down the center of the field. There's going to be a flag this time. Michael Moon was defended by Bo Upchurch, and this time I think Upchurch is going to be called for pass interference.
Boy, I tell you, the offensive line for Rancho is doing a very nice job of blocking and pass protection here. They're holding him out. Nick's stepping up in there, and he can find an open receiver. And here he throws it to Moon, gets interference.
33 seconds. So the first 2 plays took a total of 6 seconds and 5 seconds.
Tell you.
And they got a first down out of it. That's big. Big penalty there. 1st and 10 at the 15-yard line. Fotia back. Wants to throw, has all kinds of time, complete to Jarrett Brown, and he stops shy of the goal line. It looked like he was going to get in there, but good defensive pursuit over there by Luke Watson and Josh Bennett.
Down to the 2-yard line where it'll be
First and goal from the 2. Sorry, Carl.
That's okay. Nick throwing the ball to Jarrett on an out-type pattern, and Jarrett just doing the rest with it, making a big play. And now they're knocking on the door, and they got plenty of time.
And great protection for Fotia. He was able to survey the entire field, found Jarrett Brown, and that's probably the only thing that kept Brown from scoring, was that the defenders had time to get over to him. 1st and goal.
See if they run play fake. Nope, they're going to bang it in there.
They go straight ahead, and they're not going to get in there, and the Cougars will have to spend another timeout.
You know, with Nick's speed, and I'm not second-guessing Coach Engels at all, you know, but he's such a nifty runner, you know, play fake there and let him run to the corner of the end zone. That would be an excellent play as well.
Tui Tupou was stopped at the line of scrimmage. They'll stop the clock. We're going to keep it here because we sure don't want to miss a possible touchdown by the Cougars. And, of course, Carl, it'll all be over by then, but want to congratulate you. You've got a bowl game tomorrow, and so quite a camper. You know, when we started out here, you were talking about your team shooting itself in the foot, turning the ball over, giving it away to the opponents, but you guys really turned it around and had a fine season.
Yes, we did. We ended up winning 6 games in a row, Rod, and it's credit to the team. They were awful young beginning of this season, and we stopped the bleeding, and we managed to gain a bowl bid, and we're going to host the Southern California Bowl tomorrow.
Well, right now the Cougars come up to the line of scrimmage for 3rd down and make it 2nd down and goal from the 2 with 19 seconds remaining. Fotia with a full house. He's rolling out, wants to throw. Easy touchdown to Trayshawn Lewis.
Well, you got a double threat there. He can run, throw it, keep it. Puts a lot of pressure on the defense to defend that.
And he's a big target, 6'2". They kind of flooded the zone there, too, when Nick rolled out. He had a couple of guys he could have thrown the ball to.
This is really a tough pill to swallow for Temecula after coming back and getting a couple touchdowns and seeing how easy Rancho moves the ball down the field and scores basically at will.
The Cougars have scored on every possession. They have scored 4 touchdowns and a field goal, and now another point after by Mark Abate. 31-14, Rancho Cucamonga on top. You know, this Temecula Valley team won the Sun Belt League, and that's pretty amazing because the team that Alta Loma's playing tomorrow night, Paloma Valley, has really been the team everyone's been talking about. I mean, they just got an offense last week, put on a show and beat that Norco team, but, you know, unfortunately for Norco, they lost some really fine defensive ball players. They had a kid named Tyler Jennis. This guy, Carl, was, you probably, I don't know if you had a chance to see him going down to watch any Norco games. This guy was an animal. He was just a defensive animal. This kid, he'd hit a spectator walking by if he had a football.
Well, you know, if you got injuries and when you get in the playoffs, you have to be lucky. You have to be peaking at the right time. Your team has to be in the right emotional state. And it looks to me like Rancho and Coach Fotia and the rest of his staff have got their team ready to play in the postseason.
Well, a rematch with Tom Mitchell and the Alta Loma Braves would be quite a show here on Charters Channel 54. We're ready to go. 15 seconds remaining. Abate has it teed up. Kicks it. It's going to come down to Boyer. Boyer tries to change his direction. That's going to cost him about 4 yards. That's costly, and with 8 seconds to go, they'll have time for one play. And I don't know, Carl, here, this is probably about the best time as ever to take a knee and go into the locker room, huh?
Yeah, you don't want to do anything foolish, and I'll tell you, the way Boyer was running the ball, he was not looking to make a big play. He was just looking for a place to light.
Just kind of just lay down. And I agree with you. I mean, here they had trimmed the lead. They'd gotten it down 24-14. And could have gone into the locker room down by 10. That's a doable feat, but not only is it the extra 7 points, but as you said, they just can't stop them.
No, and that's pretty discouraging on a defense, and I don't think that Temecula has that type of an explosive offense where they can pile those kinds of points on.
Now they bunch up behind Ronnie Hill. They do give it to Raleigh, and Raleigh gets across the 25 to the 27-yard line. But that is going to wrap up things. No, they're going to call timeout. The Golden Bears call a timeout with 1 second remaining. And I'm pretty surprised here.
Well, you'd think if you want to try and move the football to the end zone, you'd put it in the air when you're 75, 80 yards away. But apparently they want to take one more shot at it.
They take what will be just a timeout to stop the clock. They're not going over to the sidelines or anything like that. And no.
You got to be careful that you don't concede anything to your opponent, too. To me, diving the ball like that was a concession that, hey, we're just going to go in. I don't understand what he's going to do now, but maybe he's going to take the ball down the field.
Who, what, where? You see that banner there is the Cougar fans feel they've already got this one wrapped up to have the CIF championship game, and as they were saying, have it right here. That would be the case if Alta Loma were to be victorious over Paloma Valley and the Cougars hold on to a victory here tonight.
Well, it certainly makes a statement about the Mount Baldy League.
Oh, absolutely, because the Sun Belt was considered to be the toughest league this year in D5. Not looking that way right now. Nice run up the middle by Luke Raleigh, and that's going to wrap up things in the first half. Rancho Cucamonga plays a near perfect first half of football, and they lead by a score of 31-14. What a great offensive performance. We'll have our game summary, a scoring recap, but first we're going to go down to Rich Gardner and head coach Pete Fotia right now.
love the Daewoo difference even more. My new Daewoo includes a 3-year, 36,000-mile limited warranty, scheduled maintenance, and 24-hour emergency roadside service. And I feel, well, guilty. But I take a moment and remind myself it's good to try something new. Daewoo in the Ontario Auto Center, starting at $89.99, nicely equipped. Daewoo.
The perfect holiday gift is a memory video by Digital Gateway. Imagine the world premiere of your memory video just in time for the holidays and starring you and your family. Digital Gateway can transform your photos and slides into a video montage of memories. Call 980-7808 now. A video memory is coming soon to a home near you. Why not make it yours?
The High School Game of the Week is brought to you by Class A Party Rentals, Enterprise Chevrolet, and Daewoo of Ontario.
Back here at Chaffey College, a 31-14 Rancho Cucamonga lead, joined by Alta Loma head coach Tom Mitchell. Tom, I can't imagine what you would be doing here other than the fact that your team's playing tomorrow night. By the way, congratulations, you got Alta Loma in the semifinals. What do you know about your game tomorrow night as far as your opponent, Paloma Valley?
Well, Paloma Valley is very good. They're 11-1 right now. Their only loss was to Temecula Valley. Even though they're a fairly new school, they run a wing tee, and for 12 years I've been facing a wing tee, and they run it as well as I've seen it run.
Oddly enough, the way the playoffs are going so far, the Mount Baldy League, Alta Loma and Rancho Cucamonga came into the playoffs unseeded. What do you think about the performance of both these two schools then, and making a statement for your league?
Well, it was a shame early in the playoffs. They gave all the Mountain View teams, Norco, Corona, and Centennial, all of the hype, and didn't get any Mount Baldy League team a chance to advance. And it's nice to see Rancho and Alta Loma both in the semifinals. I think that shows a lot for the power of our league.
And speaking of the semifinals, your game, our broadcast will air on Saturday and Sunday, so those watching the broadcast on Saturday, what do you got to say to those people out there as far as coming out and supporting another fine area program?
Well, we'd like to see them come back out to see Alta Loma and Paloma Valley play. It's going to be two good schools. Alta Loma's done a lot this year, and we would really appreciate the fan support.
Should Rancho hold on and win tonight, and you win tomorrow night, obviously that's going to set up a very interesting rematch.
Yeah, that'll be a rematch. There's going to be a lot of things on the line there. Of course, we beat them in the last 8 seconds when we faced them in opening of league play. I know they've got a score to settle against us. We've got a lot of emotions to play up against them, but still Rancho, as I've said earlier, this is the best Rancho team I've seen in the history of their school. They're a very difficult team to stop.
And this is Coach Tom Mitchell, head coach of the Alta Loma Braves. I kind of know what he's going to be doing the second half. He's going to be working the clipboard up there on the other side, scouting for next week's game, hopefully with a win tomorrow night. We're going to be back with more of the halftime show right after these words.
With over 30 rides, shows, and attractions, and no admissions charge. It's the affordable family theme park. Kids get unlimited rides for just $12.99, and adults do it all for just $14.99. From 400 games to magic shows and special events, it's just plain fun for the whole family. Castle Park, the undiscovered treasure off the 91 freeway between Riverside and Corona next to Tyler Mall. Castle Park, the secret is out.
Since 1966, Enterprise Chevrolet has been your hometown dealer, providing unbeatable Chevy deals to keep you coming back.
I bought my first car from Enterprise Chevrolet in 1972, a Malibu, and my family and I have been coming back ever since.
You've got to come into Enterprise Chevrolet and experience the brand new 1999 Silverado with an even roomier extended cab, several new safety features, and an entirely new engine. Catch the new 1999 Silverado at your hometown dealer, Enterprise Chevrolet, on Foothill, just east of Mountain in Upland.
Back here at Chaffey College for the halftime show of the high school game of the week on what is a very windy, as we just experienced, a minor tornado. My hair isn't too much better. We're joined now by Kurt Smith. We're going to go into a little bit. We obviously know a lot about high school football by watching the players, the band, and the coaches and talking to them all. But one of the things people don't realize is the backbone of any good, successful program is its booster club. Kurt here is the president of what they call the Fourth Quarter Club. Kurt, how important do you feel it is for the Booster Club to get behind and help provide support to a football program?
Well, there's a lot of behind-the-scenes things that you don't see at the games when you come out to watch the games. We're in operation all year long, earning money. We don't get enough money from the school district to field this team in the uniforms and the safety gear and the other things that they need to keep a complete program going. So we're earning money to keep the program going. We're also trying to do a lot of the day-to-day activities so that Coach Fotia and his staff can spend more time on the field coaching the boys and putting together a better program for them.
And as I was talking to you off camera here a little bit, you said that the Booster Club is pretty much a year-round event. What upcoming functions and how can people out there that are watching this program get a hold of you to find out how they can help, let's say, participate in one of your functions and help raise money for the Rancho Cucamonga Cougars?
Well, first of all, we meet the first Tuesday of every month at the high school. If anybody needs information, you can call the high school and ask for the Fourth Quarter Club. Our big fundraisers that we have, our first one will start in April, and that's at the California Speedway. We sell the race day programs there. We have a bass tournament at Lake Paris in August. If there's any fishermen out there that want to fish, come on out. We have a great time. And also, we will be going to local businesses and asking them for their support with our game night program. We love to have them as sponsors in our program. And that's pretty much our fundraising for the year. But what we do need, we need parents, we need neighbors, we need friends. We need the help to keep putting a team on the field like you're seeing tonight.
And you just mentioned, as we're seeing tonight, what do you think about the program this year? Obviously a very good performance so far in this game and the year.
It's been a great year, and we're just keeping our fingers crossed. We've had a great year, and we want to just continue.
Okay, I want to thank you for stopping by. Once again, this is Kurt Smith. He's the president of the Fourth Quarter Club, or the Booster Club for Rancho Cucamonga Cougars. We'll be back with more of the halftime show on a windy night here at Chaffey College right after these words.
The Rancho Cucamonga Cougars remain the Silver Street and Seattle franchise. Doors to stop.
Intellectual concepts can only be bust in class with profound effect.
Eliminating school school causes even more stress.
Ask a dropout, they'll tell you that life's a mess. There's nothing like the pride of my high school race. Hey, it took me 4 years just to earn this thing. Break it down.
It's gonna pay off, don't wanna be in debt. You see, knowledge is success, and school's your best bet.
You wanna get it right and get on the right track. Make something of your life, don't wanna be whacked.
See, this high school ring's the thing to get. So stay in school, cause it's just your best bet. In school for a better life, we got to pay attention. Graduate, liberate, you gotta get your education. Get an education.
We're back at Chaffey College. Halftime just about concluded, where Rancho Cucamonga leads 31-14. First of all, recapping the scoring, the Cougars broke out on top. A 3-yard run by Elias Tuitupo with 3:18 to go in the first half. I think that actually is 7:11 to go. But 3:18 to go, Jarrett Brown went in from 22 yards out. Then in the second quarter was Joe Valerie from a yard out. Luke Raleigh scored for Temecula Valley in the second on a 1-yard run. Then it was 34 yards for number 8. That's I don't think that's correct is what that is. And then we had in the second Kyle Boyer for Temecula Valley and Trayson Lewis from the 91, and of course the field goal. Taking a look at the MK Smith game summary. First downs, the Cougars with 11, the Bears with 5. Yards rushing, the Cougars 146, through the air 138. Total yards 284, penalties 3 for 33. The Golden Bears on the ground 104 yards, 77 through the air, 181 total yards, 2 penalties for 20 yards. The game summary brought to you by MK Smith Chevrolet on Central Avenue in Chino. The second half gets underway. A short kickoff by Mark Abate, and it'll set up the Golden Bears with good field position at their own 32-yard line. And Carl, as always, this possession right here, probably none will be more important for the Golden Bears tonight.
I agree. It doesn't look like they have the big play capability. Most of the time looks like they're the type of team that wants to methodically move the ball down the field and control the game with their running game. But their quarterback is going to have to factor into this pretty soon to get them back in the game. Ronnie Hill's going to have to make some plays through the air.
Well, he brings him out. 2 backs behind him, 1 on the wing. The pitch goes back. That's Bennett, the junior, and Bennett is wrestled down from behind by Trayson Lewis. But he picks up a few yards. That play just seemed to take a little too long to develop.
Well, Trayson was trying to ward off the blocker and gave a little bit of ground, but didn't give so much that he couldn't make the play. Here you'll see the toss. Trayson is back here warding off his blocker and finally makes the play.
Second down, 6 yards to go. Straight ahead with the football. Not much there that time. Carrying the football was the big guy, Luke Raleigh. And towards the end of the first half, they gave the ball a couple times, but they were just chewing up some yards and some clock to wrap things up. And you said earlier in the game, Carl, that the Cougars really needed to stop him before he got a full head of steam, and they've done it.
Well, they have, and you know, he reminds me of the Corrales kid from Redlands, and Rancho had no problem stopping that running game from Redlands High School.
Adam Watson comes wide here to the near side. The pitch is bobbled by Bennett, and it's going to cost him. The pursuit of the Cougar defense brings him down, led by Cedric Oliver.
Huge play there. That was 3rd and short, and now they've got a 4th down situation, and they're probably going to have to punt the football.
They have to punt the football, and yeah, it was 3rd and short. They'd set up a nice play, too. The pitch there, and it's just going to put the ball back into the hands of the Cougars. And let's just recall the first half. The Cougars scored every time they had the football.
I wouldn't totally be surprised if they ran a fake here, being as far down as they are, but it's kind of risky.
It's been known to happen. Boyer punts it away. It'll come to Moon at the 31. makes one move, but there's not much there, but he still gets away and manages to pick up a couple of yards. No blocking for him at all downfield.
You got a flag on the play. If this goes against Rancho, they're going to set further back in their own territory.
So the Cougars will get the ball for the first time in the second half. In that first half, offensively wise, it was near perfect, and they were pretty darn good on defense. Got burned on a long run, and then Michael Moon unfortunately got burned on that one long pass for the touchdown. But that was it.
Yeah, that's been their offense. I don't think this field position is going to affect Rancho at all. It hasn't so far. Doesn't seem to bother them. They can move the football whether they got a short field or a long field.
Well, they started one drive at the 18-yard line and went down. This time they're going to start at the 15, inside the 15. And so they're 85 yards from the end zone. And that unfortunately really doesn't help the Temecula Valley Golden Bears. It just means that the Cougars might hold on to the ball a little bit longer. Jarrett Brown in motion behind Nick Fotia, turns, pitches it to Valerie. Valerie's wrapped up immediately, picked up maybe a yard or two on the play.
Number 32, Joseph Valerie, the ball carrier on the play. Down tackle for the Golden Bears, number 11.
Ryan Forrest made the tackle for Temecula Valley. He's been very active. Number 11, he's 6'2", 191, a junior. It's kind of a young team that the Golden Bears have out here, and that's not surprising, Carl, when you have a program, and it really is a program that Temecula Valley runs there. It's not just a one-time thing for them in the playoffs.
No, not at all.
Straight ahead, Ryan Perez battles up close to the 20-yard line. They've got to get to the 25, however, for a 1st and 10. A little conservative beginning right now for Rancho Cucamonga. The score is 31 for Rancho, 14 for Temecula Valley. Our little bug up in the corner will catch up, I'm sure.
It's kind of a big play here for Rancho. Let's see if they can convert on 3rd down.
3rd down, 5 yards to go, and Jarrett Brown loses the football. It looks like the Golden Bears have recovered, but we'll wait for an official indication. No, down underneath is a Rancho Cucamonga Cougar. Looked like Jarrett Brown recovered his own fumble. Just never had full possession of it, Carl.
Recovered by the Cougars, and the Cougars will have to punt.
And you see it here, it dropped the ball. And so they'll have to punt for the first time tonight.
And Temecula will get the ball back in good field position.
And they came after it. They put good pressure back there on the punter. That was Romeo Cronji. But he gets off a good punt that will roll dead at the 47-yard line of Temecula Valley. So the Golden Bears will get their hands on the football for the first time in the second half, or the second time in the second half, with 7 minutes, 48 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. And they've got to score some points, Carl. They're not going to have that many possessions in the second half.
No, Rancho, you can't expect to move the ball down the field every single time and score. So this is typical of a game. So let's see if Temecula can take advantage of the field position at this point.
The Golden Bears came in tonight 8-4. There might be a flag on that one, but there won't be, probably because of that rule that it was not a catchable ball. Marvin Clark was covering Adam Watson, but the pass was so badly underthrown, they're probably ruling it uncatchable.
I think that was the case because the defender did have his hands on him. You can see him, not bad coverage. He has a right to go to the football. That's great coverage. That's great coverage.
They were locked up pretty good right there, but he was going for the ball. The ball is at the Golden Bear 47-yard line. They need to move the ball down the field and do it right now. Ronnie Hill, straight drop back. Throws to the sideline. He got the ball over there to Boyer, but did you see how quickly Brandon Parker was closing on it?
And he pushed him right out of bounds before he even caught the football. So great play, 3rd down, big play now.
The Golden Bears on their first possession had 3rd and short, and then saw Josh Bennett juggle the pitch from Ronnie Hill, and it cost them. They had to punt the ball away. Now it's 3rd down and 10. Ronnie Hill over talking to his coaches. We'll see what Bud Kane has up his sleeve on this one. 3rd down and 10.
See if he goes to Watson, his big, tall receiver.
He's got him spread wide here to the near side. Single setback. Wants to throw. He's got some time. He's got Boyer. And it is complete, and down at the 8-yard line is Kyle Boyer. Boy, you give this Ronnie Hill some time, he can throw out a nice-looking pass.
Way too much time that time. Had no pressure and let those receivers run their routes, and they ran them deep. This is just way too much time for Hill to throw the football.
Well, the big guys up front gave him a lot of time, and now this little roll to his left bought him even extra time. Good block there behind him. Look at that. He just throws a nice-looking ball, too. Throwing into the wind, Boyer had to wait up just a little bit. Without the wind, he hits him in full stride. It's 6 points.
Well, they're down here knocking on the door now.
First and goal at the Cougar 9-yard line. Raleigh comes back next to Josh Bennett. Keep an eye on Boyer. Fake pitch. There's Raleigh. Raleigh scores from the 9. Big hole right up the gut. 31-20. Could have a ball game now. We've said that before, and then the Cougars answer back, but now there'll be a big test because it's getting later in the ball game.
Well, that was a nice change of pace play. They faked the toss, and Rancho moved the defense with that fake, and Raleigh just popped the thing up the middle untouched.
Looked like Bud Kane just kind of tore a page out of the Cougar playbook on that one, didn't he? And the extra point is good. So with 7:04 to go in the third quarter, it's Rancho Cucamonga 31, Temecula Valley 21. We'll be right back after these messages.
Creating a successful social event can be very labor-intensive.
It was easy with Class A party supplies and rental, and everyone's having a great time.
At Class A Party Supply and Rental, we'll coordinate everything, handle setup and delivery so you can have a stress-free soiree. With our own supply store, we give you the best prices on everything you need for a rousing success.
This holiday season, call our party planners and make your party a stress-free success.
Class A Party Supply and Rental on Regis Court in Rancho Cucamonga, north of Foothill, west of Haven.
Empire Nissan is the #1 seller of Nissans in the Inland Empire. The all-new 2000s are here, but we also have a huge selection of used cars. Take advantage of our first-time buyer financing. What's more, high school students and their families get fleet sale prices when they see Joe Sartor or Pervez Wazi. Empire Nissan is located in the Ontario Auto Center. Mention this ad at the time of purchase, and Empire Nissan will donate $100 to the high school of your choice. Empire Nissan is your hometown dealer, and that's why we're...
Andrew Mitchell, another low liner, but this time it gets down to one of the deep guys. That's Marvin Clark. Marvin Clark, there's a flag, and the Cougars are going to be stuck deep in their own part of the field again, Carl.
Well, I think it's another clip or blocking behind the back. Oh, blocking below the waist.
Blocking below the waist, way up in front of him, too. And that's going to move them all the way back inside their own 10-yard line, Carl. And right now, this is going to be a very big possession for the Rancho Cucamonga Cougars.
Yes, it is. And again, they just need to get the football out towards the midfield, if nothing else, and punt the thing away and play some better defense this next series.
The ball is going to be marked right at the 10-yard line or just inside the 10-yard line. Moon and Wallem come wide to the near side of the football field. Single setback behind Nick Fotia. That's Jarrett Brown. Jarrett Brown bobbing and weaving through the middle, gets up across the 15-yard line. Let's pick up a 5.
That's a great run by Jarrett Brown there. If we see that again, does a nice job of weaving his way through some traffic and making a play, making a nice gain.
Well, he knifed through the hole right at the line of scrimmage and then picked up now they've given him credit for just about 6 yards. It'll be second down, 4 yards to go.
No time for a mistake here. They need to be solid in what they're doing and get first downs.
Fatia has them ready. Second down, 4 yards to go. Fatia keeps the ball on the option. Fatia gets a block by John Wallum, picks up a first down and is ridden out of bounds by number 33, Luke Raleigh.
Pushed out of bounds by number 33, Luke Raleigh.
Can't say enough about his ability to threaten the defense and present just a different whole package for them to defend. It's just tough to defend a guy that can run the ball like that.
Huge pickup right there for the Cougars and Nick Fatia. They get a first down. More importantly, they're out of their own end zone right now. They were deep in their own territory. Now they're up at their own 34-yard line, 1st and 10. Jared Brown bounces back. That's Perez, and Perez, the big fullback, dragging tacklers with him. He dragged Julian Williams 6 yards.
Well, they're answering back right here with a nice drive so far.
They're mixing it up. That's the thing when you've got so many bullets in the gun. I mean, there's a lot of tools in the toolbox of Pete Fatia, isn't there?
Well, and to have an inside running game is critical because now you got to defend the inside dive, you got to defend the sweep, you got to defend the option, you got to defend the pass, you got to defend a lot of things. You might as well be an attorney.
They pick up yardage on the ground here. I look for play action on the next play. They might do it right here. Nope, they're going to keep it on the ground. Ryan Perez, he picks up 6-7 yards, 2nd down 3. Let's figure it out, Carl. 3 really fine runs, 2nd and short. It's got to be play action right now. I mean, it might not be, but I know it's going to happen sooner or later, right?
Well, let's see what Coach Ingles calls here.
He spread them out. Once again, Wallum way over here, almost at the sideline. Fatia has him ready. Straight drop back, not play action, but he is going to throw. And a wonderful catch. What a beautiful catch by Jarrett Brown, doing it all again. He's unreal.
Well, he made a fantastic catch, but I'll tell you what, the ball was threaded right in what we call the window, the little seam area between the underneath defenders and the deep defenders, and Nick just threw the ball in there, and Jarrett made a nice catch.
Kind of like the little wires going through our window at the bottom of the screen there.
Yeah, what is that?
We don't know.
Oh. That's a Y2K problem.
There you go. 4:46. It's a wired world. Charter Media, Channel 54, the game of the week. Fatia to Perez. Boy, Ryan Perez is really doing the job in place of Elias Tuitupo, who got the helmet to the knee in the first quarter, and Perez is really stepping up big.
And let's remember that Rancho is without the backs that pretty much played the whole season with them, the regular season.
The backs that got him here, Chris McKinley and Omar Marino, you betcha. 31-21, and you talk about answering the call and answering the challenge. The Cougars have done it right here. If nothing else, they've eaten up a ton of clock. But they need some points. Jarrett Brown turns the corner. There he goes. He's down inside the 15 to the 9 and dropped. What a great run. He turned on an extra gear, Carl, to get around the corner.
Well, it's a simple-looking play. You know, it stretches itself quite wide for a defense to be able to defend, but you got some nice blocks up here.
Forrest and 52 had the angle. Nice block by Relaford.
Right.
But he just turned it on right here.
Look at Wallum working over number 2 there. He's knocking him down.
What a great move.
First
then
down.
Just covers the football. Great job by Jarrett Brown. Huge, huge pickup. 1st and goal, just inside the 10-yard line. So the Cougars knocking on the door again. That's Wallum out of bounds. He had him there. Took just a little bit too long to release the football.
Now, earlier they went with Jared Brown in the flat to the wide side of the field for a score. Let's see if they do it again here.
They've got a lot of room on the far side of the football field, don't they, Carl? There you see Wallum.
That's an excellent catch. It's unfortunate he's out of bounds. He ran out of field, but...
Yep, just out of bounds.
Barely.
Great camera work by Mark Chapman down there on the goal line. 2nd and goal from the 9-yard line. A fake handoff inside. Fatia, boy, I'll tell you something. He was holding the ball out there, and he lost it. Carl, I was just going to say, he had it out there like a loaf of bread, and the Temecula Valley Bears came out of hibernation. They're hungry.
Well, he got just a little bit careless with the football, you know, because he's trying to make a play. He probably should have just settled for turning the thing up and taking a loss if there is a loss.
He looked like he wanted to pitch the ball to somebody, didn't he?
Yeah. That's the thing about the option is once it's settled, it's settled. You just got to live with what happens.
Well, look at the situation we have now. 31-21, 3:22 to go in the third quarter. A long way to go for the Temecula Valley Bears. They're at their own 12-yard line, but they got the ball. They kept the Cougars from scoring. And they've got an opportunity to trim the lead. Same play they scored the touchdown on. And boy, look at that Luke Raleigh dragging people 3, 4, 5 yards, close to a first down.
Well, I like Cedric Oliver there, how he folded back in. He found out that Raleigh's trained, but he was aggressive enough here. You'll see him as a defensive end fold back into this play and makes good contact and just wrestles them down and not going to give up.
And the way they're running the football, I would really look at the Bears to keep running the ball, Carl. Play it safe. They're still deep in their own territory. The ball is just across the 20 at the 21. Second and very short, although play action would be a pretty good play to call right here.
Sure would.
You can tell that's my favorite play, can't you? He sends Bennett in motion, and Bennett has the football. Bennett is going to be wrapped up for a loss. Big defensive play. Stepping in there, number 35, Jeff Regina.
Well, they ran a similar play that Rancho's been running, but they ran it to the short side of the field, and there was too many defenders over there.
3rd down and 1. How big is this? They're so deep in their own territory. If they don't make it, they have to punt the football, and that would negate any advantage that they would have gotten from the fumble recovery.
Well, let's see if Raleigh gets the call here. I mean, he's their big horse. See if he bangs in there.
3rd and short, a little more than a yard. Boyer in motion. They're going to throw the football. Hill, he's got a man open, and he's got him complete. That's Adam Watson. Watson, a huge pickup from the 20 down to the 26-yard line of Rancho Cucamonga. 1st and 10.
That's an interesting call considering he only had a yard to go for the first down, but big play for them.
1st and 10 for Temecula Valley. You see Ronnie Hill fade back. And the key here, Carl, look at that protection. He's able to cock and load.
Watson gets behind the defender. Boy, that's a big play.
That's a touchdown saving tackle anyway by Marvin Clark. Minute 24 to go. After this play, we'll take a very quick timeout for our sponsors, Ronnie Hill. And they're going to blow it dead. We'll take a quick break and return to Chaffey College right after this.
The perfect holiday gift is a memory video by Digital Gateway. A memory video allows you to see your most treasured memories on your television. Digital Gateway can transform your photos and slides into a video montage of memories. Memories shouldn't be boxed away in some closet. They should be shared, especially during the holidays. Call Digital Gateway at 980-7808 now and beat the holiday rush.
I have a confession to make. I practically stole my new Daewoo. You see, I bought factory direct. I cut out the middleman by buying direct from Daewoo. I really feel sorry for the guys because I got a whole lot of car for my money. Can you believe a 3-year, 36,000-mile limited warranty, scheduled maintenance, and 24-hour roadside assistance is included? Incredible.
Daewoo in the Ontario Auto Center, starting at $89.99, nicely equipped.
But let's keep this quiet. These guys might wise up and raise their prices.
Daewoo.
Penalty hurt Temecula Valley. They had 1st down and 15. Picked up a yard while we were away. It's 2nd down, 14 yards to go. The Cougars looking for a stop. Ronnie Hill back. Wants to throw. He's got his man complete to Josh Bennett at the 22-yard line. Not quite enough for a 1st down, and just about as big a 3rd down play coming up right now as the 3rd quarter winds down to an end.
This is a nice drive by Temecula. If they can convert here, you're right, Rob. We'll have a game, and maybe the crowd will wake up a little bit.
Hey, Pete Fautia and Bud Kane fight it out like they used to do when Bud Kane was at Elsinore High School and Pete Fautia was at Notre Dame Riverside, and they were combatants in the old Sunkist League.
Well, I know.
Go ahead, Carl.
I know that well because I was at Bloomington and we were all competing.
That's right. That's the end of the third quarter. Rancho Cucamonga 31, Temecula Valley 21. We'll be back for an exciting fourth quarter right after these words.
Intellectual concepts can only be bust in class with profound effect.
Eliminating school causes even more stress.
Ask a dropout, they'll tell you that life's a mess. There's nothing like the pride of my high school race. Hey, it took me 4 years just to earn this thing. Break it down.
It's gonna pay off. Don't wanna be in debt. You see, knowledge is success, and school's your best bet.
You want to get it right and get on the right track. Make something of your life. Don't want to be whacked.
See, this high school ring's the thing to get. So stay in school, cause it's just your best bet. In school for a better life. Pick up and pay attention. Graduate, liberate. You gotta get your education.
Get an education.
We're the Rancho Cucamonga Color Guard, and you're watching the High School Game of the Week on Charter Channel 54.
All right, we're back to live action. The fourth quarter underway. Watson in motion. Misdirection play. Big hole, and into the end zone goes number 49, Luke Watson. So Luke Watson. And it is a touchdown from the 20-yard line for Temecula Valley. And Carl, there's a ball game going on now.
Boy, that's a nice play. Well executed. Little counter play to the wing back. After they fake to the fullback, he comes back around, and Rancho doesn't account for that, and he walks untouched.
Ball is down, the kick is up, and the kick is good. And with 5 seconds gone in the third quarter, it's Rancho Cucamonga seeing their lead cut down to 31-28. We'll take a break and return to Chaffey College right after this.
Since 1966, Enterprise Chevrolet has been your hometown dealer, providing unbeatable Chevy deals to keep you coming back.
I bought my first car from Enterprise Chevrolet in 1972, a Malibu, and my family and I have been coming back ever since.
You've got to come into Enterprise Chevrolet and experience the brand new 1999 Silverado with an even roomier extended cab, several new safety features, and an entirely new engine. Catch the new 1999 Silverado at your hometown dealer, Enterprise Chevrolet, on Foothill, just east of Mountain in Upland.
Discover Castle Park, Southern California's best-kept secret. With over 30 rides, shows, and attractions, and no admissions charge. It's the affordable family theme park. Kids get unlimited rides for just $12.99, and adults do it all for just $14.99. From 400 games to magic shows and special events, it's just plain fun for the whole family. Castle Park, the undiscovered treasure off the 91 freeway between Riverside and Corona next to Tyler Mall. Castle Park, the secret is out.
You see the crowd standing now. Mike Moon, after that extra point attempt was good, walked off the field, waving to the crowd to get up, make some noise. The Cougars want to feed off of their fans in the stands. Watson kicks it short, and once again the Cougars will have good field position. Falling on the football, that's Mike Moon. He's one of the good hands people up front. And Carl, I think they do need these fans to get going here and pump some life into that team out there.
Absolutely. If they're going to meet this challenge, they'll do it now, because any more 3 downs and out, and Temecula is going to be back in this thing in a big way.
Big 14-point turnaround, the fumble by Fautia, and Temecula Valley turns it around into a very long touchdown drive. 11:53 to go in the football game. Fautia has them ready. The idea here, don't try to do too much. Fotia picks up 3 or 4 yards, and you can hear across the way. There's not a lot of Golden Bear rooters, but they're making some noise now.
They've come out of hibernation, and they know darn well that Temecula's got the momentum right now.
One thing worse than not letting a sleeping dog lie is not letting a sleeping bear lie, huh? The Bear's trying to ruin the picnic of the Cougars here in a big way. I mean, it is quite a turnaround. It was 31-21. The Cougars were knocking on the door, and just like that, it's 31-28. Jarrett Brown, nothing doing at all. And right now, you've got a classic case of Mr. Momentum switching over to the side of Temecula Valley.
Well, Rancho can't go away from what they've been doing well the last couple of weeks, and they need to get the ball in the air and let Wallem and let Jared Brown make the plays they've been making all year for him.
Last week, when Corona made a run, it was a big first down play on 3rd down, a pass to John Wallem. He'd gotten enough. Let's see if they go to it here. Fotia drops back. He throws to John Wallem. He's fighting, breaks a tackle, still fighting, but he's going to come up short of a first down. He's dropped at the 38-yard line, and the Cougars will have to punt the football.
Well, that time the play worked successfully before, but this time the defender wasn't blocked by the receiver, the wideout. He didn't get him. You'll see down here as he throws the ball, there's somebody missing their block. It doesn't allow Wallem to make the run.
He did a good job just to catch the ball and hold on to it, didn't he?
Made a big effort there to try and get the first.
He was hit first by Josh Bennett. So Mike Moon, now it'd be interesting to see what a time for a fake. I don't think they'll do it, but they're doing a lot of moving around. And they may be trying to draw him offside here as well, Carl. It's 4th and 3. Nope. Moon's going to punt it away, an end-over-end kick. It's going to bounce, take a Cougar bounce. It's going to roll down to the 20, call it the 19-yard line. Mike Harpin watched it roll dead, and the Temecula Valley Bears, with 9 minutes and 32 seconds to go in the football game, are 3 points away from tying and a touchdown away from taking the lead.
Well, the last couple of times, the Rancho defense has not stopped them. It hasn't looked good out there on the field in terms of defending what the Bears were doing. They better do it now.
They've shuffled the deck, mixed in a few different plays, a lot of misdirection, and they've confused the Rancho Cucamonga defense a couple of times. 1st and 10 from the 19-yard line. The Cougars antsy on defense. Play action. The pass is complete and dropped. Kyle Batchelor had the ball. He had a first down at the 30 and dropped it.
It's a good call. First down, throw play action.
And they were coming after him. You see a concerned look on Pete Fotia right now. 31-28. You saw athletic director there, Chris Van Luden. He's showed a little concern himself there. 2nd down, 10 yards to go. Harpin comes wide to the near side of the field. Raleigh, the lone setback. You only need him. He can really hit that line of scrimmage hard. And it's Raleigh with the football. He's dropped after a pickup of 1, maybe 2. This is the defensive stand the Cougars, Carl, I really feel they must have if they're going to win the football game.
I agree with you here. They cannot afford to have Temecula take the ball, march it down the field, and score. I mean, they've got to get the ball back and control it themselves.
Well, several times tonight, Temecula Valley has rolled the dice and gotten a huge play. Let's see if they can pull off another one.
Well, if they come with this little trip set like they are right now, see if he rolls out. He'll roll out to this side and see if he can find a receiver. They'll flood this area here probably.
The Cougars need to put some pressure on Ronnie Hill. 3rd down, 9 yards to go. He rolls out. Trayson Lewis is blocked out. The throw is downfield, and it's out of bounds. Good coverage on the play by Chris Relaford on Kyle Boyer. Chris Relaford had him covered perfectly, Carl.
Well, they run a little, what we call a wheel route, where they run an out and up, and they crisscross the receivers and try to get you crossed up in the secondary. That time, Rancho defended it well.
Great job by Relaford, the senior cornerback. 6 foot, 190-pounder. Had Boyer covered all the way. And the wind actually helped him a little bit, but it almost kept the ball in bounds. The wind blowing across the field. The Cougars don't come after it, and it's a very poor punt. Straight up in the air, and then takes a Cougar bounce. Oh my goodness. That's a live ball, heads up play by John Bozzo. What an incredibly head up play, Carl. And that young man is a sophomore.
Well, they all just stood there and watched it, figuring they're going to
Sam Thorpe.
Let the ball die, and Sam Thorpe does the wise thing. He can field the ball and return it. It's a punt.
Yeah, Sam Thorpe, number 56, and that doesn't surprise me. Talking to Sam Thorpe, that is one of the sharper kids on that defense. Player of the game against Redlands High School.
Well, this is what you really call a short field.
Oh, my. Oh, what an unbelievable break for the Cougars. Can they take advantage of it? Fotia has them ready. First and goal. Straight ahead with the football.
Good
Looks
yards.
like Jarrett Brown.
Made some decent yards on that play. They got 3 more downs to get it in.
So they're going straight at him. That was Valerie, number 34, with the ball. They've got some different people in there now. They've got Mike Hale in at tight end. Full house behind Nick Fotia on second and goal. Valerie again, and the sophomore's in. Joe Valerie. You talk about a couple of guys stepping up and playing big tonight. Joe Valerie and Ryan Perez for the Cougars.
Well, he wasn't going to be denied. He lowered his shoulders and moved his feet and pushed the ball over the line.
But go back to that punt. It went straight up in the air. No one touched it, but I think they got in the head of Kyle Boyer. He rushed the punt. It went straight up, took a Cougar bounce. As it was, it would have been down about the 9. If the line of scrimmage was the 20, it would have been a negative 11 right there. A bait with the extra point, and it is good. 7:45 to go. A huge break for the Cougars. They cash it in for a 38-28 lead. We'll be back right after these messages.
Empire Nissan is the #1 seller of Nissans in the Inland Empire. The all-new 2000s are here, but we also have a huge selection of used cars. Take advantage of our first-time buyer financing. What's more, high school students and their families get fleet sale prices when they see Joe Sartor or Pervez Wazi. Empire Nissan is located in the Ontario Auto Center. Mention this ad at the time of purchase, and Empire Nissan will donate $100 to the high school of your choice. Empire Nissan is your hometown dealer, and that's why we're
Creating a successful social event can be very labor-intensive.
It was easy with Class A Party Supplies and Rental, and everyone's having a great time.
At Class A Party Supply and Rental, we'll coordinate everything, handle setup and delivery, so you can have a stress-free soiree. With our own supply store, we give you the best prices on everything you need for a rousing success.
This holiday season, call our party planners and make your party a stress-free success.
Class A Party Supply and Rental on Regis Court and Rancho Cucamonga, north of Foothill, west of Haven.
Well, they're a little happier looking, aren't they?
Yeah, they needed that. That was a nice break on the part of the punters.
Oh, what a heads-up play by Sam Thorpe. Just a real heady play. Boyer with the football. Boyer with a wedge set up in front of him. He explodes through it, spinning free, and up the sideline. There's no quit in this Bear team, is there?
No, they're still in this game. So there's over 7 minutes left, down by 10.
38-28. They've been there before. They've been down by 10 3 times. They trailed 31-21, 38-28 right now, and earlier in the ball game it was 24-14. So they're in very familiar territory. Once again, the defense of Rancho Cucamonga being asked to step up. They did it huge on the last possession by Temecula Valley, and then got the break on the bad punt. 1st and 10, the drive will start at the Golden Bear 42. The pitch comes out to Josh Bennett. He turns it back inside. Pick up a 2, maybe 3. And that is it. Alicio Cabildo makes the tackle. Trayson Lewis also helping out. And Trayson Lewis has been after that quarterback all game, Carl. He's just missed him a couple of times.
Yeah, I think you got to look for Hill here to try to connect up with Watson again somewhere down here soon.
Plenty of time, but they really don't have the luxury to go for a real time-consuming drive right now because the Cougars can also score and chew up clock. 2nd down, 7 yards to go. The crowd is now into this ball game. There's that play they've scored on, and there goes Raleigh, and hanging on as he's dragged along is Trayson Lewis.
He is a truck. When he gets his feet moving, he's plowing up the field.
Good job by Lewis. Keep in mind, Lewis is 6'2", 230, and Raleigh dragged him along.
He's a powerful young lad there, Raleigh is.
Isn't he, though? Approaching the 6-minute mark remaining in this football game. But that was enough for a 1st down. 1st and 10, Golden Bears at the Cougar 45. Getting a little bit exciting right now. It's warmed up things. Watson goes in motion. Misdirection comes back right at you. Handoff inside to the other Watson.
It's a play they scored on earlier.
Yeah, it was Luke Watson. So Luke Watson is a senior. Adam Watson is a junior. And Cabildo once again making the stop. Well, the Cougars shot out to a big lead, and you and I, Carl, both thought it was going to be a rerun of last week against Corona, but the Temecula Valley Golden Bears are showing why 2 years in a row they've made it to the semifinal game. They're well coached, and they have a lot of heart. They have a 2nd down, 5, and a whistle. Timeout. They weren't quite ready to run the play. We have 5:31 to go in the football game, folks. The score, 38-28 Rancho Cucamonga. We'll be back right after these words.
Intellectual concepts can only be bust in class with profound effect.
Eliminating school causes even more stress.
Ask a dropout, they'll tell you that life's a mess. There's nothing like the pride of my high school race. Hey, it took me 4 years just to earn this thing. Break it down.
It's gonna pay off. Don't wanna be in debt. You see, knowledge is success, and school's your best bet.
You want to get it right and get on the right track. Make something of your life. Don't want to be whacked.
See, this high school ring's the thing to get. So stay in school, cause it's just your best bet. In school for a better life. Pick up and pay attention. Graduate, liberate. You gotta get your education. Get an education.
Well, during the timeout, Carl, your nephew John Beach went out and talked to the team. Not much you can say to him right now other than just do what you know how to do, right?
Well, it's a 3rd down play. They've got to stop him here. 2nd down.
2nd and 5 after the timeout. Let's see what Temecula Valley comes up with. And they misfire.
Penalty marker down on the play.
And we'll see if it's going to be encroachment or illegal procedure. It is a procedure penalty. And wow, boy, you talk about a team that's really snake bit right here. I mean, that's about 3 plays that have really been costly for the Golden Bears.
Yeah, Adam Watson moved early and cost him. I mean, it's one thing to try and gain 4 or 5 yards. It's another to try and gain 10 on 2nd down.
You see some of the Cougar Rooters partying, but it's a little too early to party like it's all over. Still 2nd down, but now it's 2nd down and 10. Backs in the pro set behind Ronnie Hill. Rolls left, wants to throw, has time, and now he's flushed out and tackled by Trayson Lewis. It was just a matter of time before the big guy, Trayson Lewis, number 91, was going to wrap up Ronnie Hill.
Well, he's got speed, and speed kills, and they got the quarterback pulled up on that rollout, and Trayson lowered the boom on him.
Huge play. That's a big loss. They lost 11 yards on the play. That'll make it 3rd and 21. They're back at their own 44-yard line. This right now could be the season for Temecula Valley. It should be 4-down territory. They don't need to pick it all up. Lots of time. The throw is complete to Boyer, and he's out of bounds at the 46-yard line. They say he stepped out at the 47. And that's a smart move. Get half of it.
Yeah, get half of it. They've still got a ways to go, but they can do it. They proved already that they can throw the ball that far and have a successful play.
It's going to be 4th down and 12, so not your typical 4th down and go for it type of situation. But with that kind of protection, I mean, that's tough.
Well, this is big. This is the season right here, probably.
Right here, Mike Moon, the lone safety. He's playing center field back at the Cougar 32. Ronnie Hill back, wants to throw for the sideline, and he overthrows his intended receiver by a mile.
Pressure did that. Forced Hill to throw that ball a little sooner than he wanted to.
He tried to get it over to number 9. He tried to get it to Bo Upchurch. And now for the Cougars, really all they need to do is reel off 2, maybe 3 first downs, and they'll be on their way to a possible rematch with the Altaloma Braves, depending on the outcome of their game. They put a scare into you, don't they, though? Hey, that's football, though, right?
You want to scare? Come watch us play.
There's Joe Valerie. What a great game this young man has had. They've used him whenever they've needed just a nice, short gain. He's come through it. I mean, he really holds on to the ball.
And from the beginning of the season until now, you can see how he's matured. And these extra games in the playoffs are just invaluable for the youngsters on the team.
Imagine this kid's a sophomore. He's really going to be something for him next year. A penalty that time, a holding penalty against Rancho Cucamonga. And they don't want to get too careless here, Carl.
They don't need that.
The penalty stopped the clock. They'll restart it. And that makes me wonder, why would you hurry up to the line of scrimmage? Take your time.
Sometimes it's hard to get that point across. You know, you just don't do it. But
there's Valerie, the sophomore, turns it inside, holds on to the football again, and picked up about 5 yards on the play.
Well, they could burn easily another minute and a half off of here unless Temecula takes another timeout.
You know, that says a lot about Joe Valerie, Carl, that Pete Fotia has that much confidence to keep calling his number, being just a sophomore in this particular situation.
I think the last few weeks, Joe has played very well for him when they lost those other backs, and I think he has a lot of confidence in him.
We're inside, 4 minutes to play, and now Nick Fotia says, hey, I'm going to chew up a little bit of that clock.
So the last couple series or plays, they've been in an unbalanced line. And
Valerie,
he's down.
They're going to whistle him down. He was down on the play. Oh, boy. Come on, Joe, after all the good things we've just been saying, don't drop it now. He was tripped up. I mean, because that was a huge hole.
Well, Temecula is not adjusting their corner, so they're putting an end over, and they're not making probably the right adjustment. So that creates a mismatch of numbers, and hopefully Rancho can take advantage of it. See if they come out in it again.
Hey, this is big, folks. It's 3rd down, 11 yards to go, 3 minutes.
Okay, they're in this again. This
remaining in the game.
End over, unbalanced situation.
Everything to the near side of the field. And it's Valerie again, and Valerie with Golden Bears grabbing at the football, gets up across the 50.
Temecula took a timeout, as they should, so they didn't burn another 30 seconds off.
So Temecula Valley takes a timeout with 2:49 to go. We'll take a break. We'll return to Chaffey College right after these messages.
The perfect holiday gift is a memory video by Digital Gateway. Imagine the world premiere of your memory video just in time for the holidays and starring you and your family. Digital Gateway can transform your photos and slides into a video montage of memories. Call 980-7808 now. A video memory is coming soon to a home near you. Why not make it yours?
I have a confession to make. I practically stole my new Daewoo. You see, I bought factory direct. I cut out the middleman by buying direct from Daewoo. I really feel sorry for the guys because I got a whole lot of car for my money. Can you believe a 3-year, 36,000-mile limited warranty, scheduled maintenance, and 24-hour roadside assistance is included? Incredible.
Daewoo in the Ontario Auto Center, starting at $89.99, nicely equipped.
But let's keep this quiet. These guys might wise up and raise their prices.
Daewoo.
Back here at Rancho Cucamonga High, joined by a couple of big fans, or actually little fans of the Cougars. Son, who's your favorite player on the team?
Michael Moon, because he's good and he has cool hair.
And who's your favorite player, son?
Michael Moon, because he's really good, and he's cool. I like him.
And this little guy, what's your favorite player?
Nick Fortia, because he has good hair and he has a great arm.
Okay, back up to you guys.
Thanks, Rich. And I think we're at Chaffey College. Hey, but what the heck it is Rancho Cucamonga playing. And it's Mike Moon with the punt. Those two kids like him for a couple of reasons. He's good and has cool hair. And it's a pretty cool punt. Rolls out of bounds at the 11-yard line. And actually, that wasn't Moon. That was Romeo Cronji. Apologies to Romeo there. So 1st and 10 for Temecula Valley. But they've got a long way to go now, Carl. And now it's a situation they've got to go for broke.
Yeah, and here's where a mistake will just kill them. And I'm sure that if they take the wrong path for this thing, that Rancho may pick something off here, create a mistake for themselves, and seal the game for them.
Well, there's 2 minutes, 41 seconds remaining in the game. Raleigh sets up behind the quarterback, Ronnie Hill. Hill back, wants to throw. Over the middle, he's got Watson complete at the 38, the 28, and gets up close to the 30-yard line. They'll stop the clock on the 1st down. Now the thing, Carl, you don't want to start playing too soft here. They need 2 scores. You can give up one, really.
Yeah, they got to make them go the distance. You know, play defense. Don't get out of your defensive game plan. And so many teams do. You even see it in the NFL. They'll play a prevent defense and they'll keep getting big chunks of yardage before you know it, they're in the end zone.
Well, that's what happened against Alta Loma. The Cougars had fought back, had the lead, and then gave up the winning score in the final 8 seconds. But the Braves only needed 1 score. The Golden Bears need 2. They have 2 minutes to get it. Screen pass is set up to Watson. No blocking, and Marvin Clark comes up big.
It was a good call, good idea, but the defense of Rancho smelled it out real quick and made a play.
Marvin Clark messed up the play, and then big Trayson Lewis came in to finish him off. Exactly 2 minutes to go in the ball game, and for all intents and purposes, the football season for Temecula Valley. But you really have to hand it to Bud Kane and his group, Carl. I mean, they could have thrown in the towel. When Rancho came down and went ahead 38-21. I mean, they could have said, hey, that's it. Ronnie Hill sends Boyer in motion. Complete to Boyer. And did he get out of bounds? No, and that's big.
No, they can
big tackle by Relaford.
They can do that all day long. That's not going to get them the score. That's good defense. Let them do that.
So the Cougars had a scare. Their lead was cut from 31-21 to 31-28. But then the bad punt set them up with great field position at the 6, and they went on to score. Minute and a half to go. Pretty much a formality now. Ronnie Hill has time, throws across the middle to Bennett. In and out of his hands. And actually, that's not Bennett, that's Andrew Mitchell. No. Shemp, get it right now. Mike Harpin Mike Harpin had it and dropped it. Harpin, a late addition to the roster tonight. Don't forget, folks, after the game, we'll have the Players of the Week from both teams. The Lee Adams Discount Sales Players of the game. That one's lofted downfield, and Mike Moon is going to make an over-the-shoulder interception and then take a knee. That's the ball game. That's going to pretty much wrap it up, Carl. And so we're going to keep it right here. There's just a minute 10 to go, and there you see the cool hair of Michael Moon.
Well, you know,
he's a happy guy.
Been a few years, but you know, Rancho was in the finals before, played Upland a few years ago, and I know that they're looking forward to a trip back now to the finals. Congratulations to them. All they have to do now is burn a few seconds here without a mistake. It's a great job by them. It really is.
And Fotia takes a knee. So a great job done by the Cougars, but hey, hats off to Bud Kane and the Temecula Valley Golden Bears. They could have really folded up the tent and gone home, but they really made a game of it.
Well, yeah, I know both of them very well. I've known them for many years, and my congratulations to both of them. They're both fine people, and both deserve to win.
Both teams had made it to the semifinals last year. One's moving on, and that's the Rancho Cucamonga Cougars. With 34 and 33 seconds, I don't know that they have to set up for any more. Nick Fotia walking towards the sidelines. We're going to grab his dad, the head coach, Pete Fotia.
No, they don't have to run another one.
Before he gets off the field, they'll run one more play. So the Rancho Cucamonga Cougars, last year they weren't league champs. They made it to the semifinals and were knocked out by the eventual winner, the eventual runner-up, Rancho Verde. And that's going to do it. They're not going to come up and set up. That's the ball game, folks. Final score, Rancho Cucamonga 38, Temecula Valley 28. A lot of happy fans and a lot of happy football players. The players are going to congratulate each other as they walk across. They do that. Let's go down to Rich.
Thanks, Rod. Well, Pete Fotia, obviously a great moment for you. Probably not the margin of comfort you wanted coming out of the second half, though.
No, we had a little trouble. We struggled with our coverage and got a couple mismatches, but we'll tighten that up. We'll be fine.
Okay, well, congratulations. A great win. First appearance in the final since 1995 for Coach Fotia. Coach Fotia and the Rancho Cucamonga Cougars will be back with more of the post-game show right after these words.
Discover Castle Park, Southern California's best-kept secret. With over 30 rides, shows, and attractions, and no admissions charge. It's the affordable family theme park. Kids get unlimited rides for just $12.99, and adults do it all for just $14.99. From 400 games to magic shows and special events, it's just plain fun for the whole family. Castle Park, the undiscovered treasure off the 91 freeway between Riverside and Corona next to Tyler Mall. Castle Park, the secret is out.
Since 1966, Enterprise Chevrolet has been your hometown dealer, providing unbeatable Chevy deals to keep you coming back.
I bought my first car from Enterprise Chevrolet in 1972, a Malibu, and my family and I have been coming back ever since.
You've got to come into Enterprise Chevrolet and experience the brand new 1999 Silverado with an even roomier extended cab, several new safety features, and an entirely new engine. Catch the new 1999 Silverado at your hometown dealer, Enterprise Chevrolet, on Foothill, just east of Mountain in Upland.
The final score, 38-28. It could have been a big blowout, but the Temecula Valley Golden Bears showed that they had the heart and the talent to make a game of it, and why they made it to the semifinals for the second year in a row. Wrapping up the scoring on our M.K. Smith Chevrolet game summary in the third quarter as the Golden Bears made their run at the Cougars. Number 33, Luke Raleigh, went in from 9 yards out with 7:04 remaining. And then in the fourth quarter, it was Luke Watson on a 20-yard pass play. And that was with 11:55 to go. And it looked like they just might make a run. Got it to 31-28. But then the touchdown by Joe Valerie, the sophomore. 2-yard run after the terrible punt that Sam Thorpe picked up and got down to the 6-yard line, sealed it, and the final score 38-28. A lot of stars in the game. First of all, the Lee Adams Discount Sales Player of the Game from Temecula Valley, the big workhorse, number 33, Luke Raleigh, the senior. He really lived up to his billing as being a guy that could hit the line like a ton of bricks. You see him there, and boy, does he look like a football player. Blood across the bridge of the nose, and a great job by Luke Raleigh. Ran in for that touchdown right up the middle. On the Rancho Cucamonga side, hey, there were a lot of stars, but the guy that really set the tone tonight, he's been a Game of the Week before, and he really did everything tonight, running and catching, doing just about everything. That's Jarrett Brown, number 34. Our congratulations to him, the Lee Adams Discount Sales Player of the Game. We're going to take a break, come back. Rich Gardner standing by with a couple of other stars of tonight's game, Trayson Lewis and Joe Valerie. We'll go down to Rich right after this timeout.
Intellectual concepts can only be bust in class with profound effect.
Eliminating school causes even more stress.
Ask a dropout, they'll tell you that life's a mess. There's nothing like the pride of my high school race. Hey, it took me 4 years just to earn this thing. Break it down.
It's gonna pay off. Don't wanna be in debt. You see, knowledge is success, and school's your best bet.
You want to get it right and get on the right track. Make something of your life. Don't want to be whack.
See, this high school ring's the thing to get. So stay in school, cause it's just your best bet. Leave school for a better life. You got to pay attention. Graduate, liberate. You gotta get your education. Get an education.
Back here at Chaffee High School as the Rancho Cucamonga Cougars advance to the finals for the first time since 1995, joined by a couple of the key players in tonight's game. We're going to start out over here with a young running back, but a very big kid, Joe Valerie. Came up big tonight, 2 touchdown runs to help put the team in the early lead. How did you feel about tonight's performance of the Rancho Cucamonga Cougars?
Well, I felt, we couldn't do it without the O-line. I just wasn't possible. Well, our main goal was to get as many points on the board as we could and just dominate the team and just follow through with it. Just keep going. Be number one.
Talking to you a little bit here off camera, you're just a sophomore and you pretty much got pushed into the starting position at running back when McKinney and Marino were unable to play for the playoffs. What kind of pressure was that for you as just I believe you're probably a 15-year-old kid now?
Yeah, well, the pressure I had it was just all on me. It was just, they pushed the whole thing on me. Nothing I could do about it. It was just like everybody was hurt, and all I had to do was step up, become the man, step up, be number one.
Well, this has to be a great experience for you as you're going to the finals in your first year on varsity competition. How do you feel about that?
Well, I feel this is a good accomplishment. It'll help me in my future goals and stuff. It'll help me farther on in the future and help me to be a better person and a better man as I grow up.
Okay, this is Joe Valerie, just a sophomore. The future for the Cougars looks very bright beyond just tonight. And obviously next week we're going to go over here to Trayson Lewis, defensive specialist. Obviously, for those out there that don't know, he's highly recruited. Senior out of Rancho Cucamonga, made a key sack in tonight's game. I want to talk a little bit more importantly about how you've been thrust into the offensive, let's say, kind of special formations. How do you feel about that tonight? You had a touchdown reception.
I mean, it's nothing usual to me because I had one last week, but I mean, they just threw me in there because they needed a big banger or whatever. So I just go in there and open up holes for Joe, and they're total. I tell him every play, Joe, follow me if you want to get a touchdown. And he kept doing it 2 plays in a row, so hey, we just did it.
It seemed like, from my perspective on the sideline, Treson, when Temecula Valley started making a charge back, it seemed like things were getting a little scattered over here on the sidelines. What was the feeling among the team when Temecula Valley was pretty much making some easy points?
It was a feeling of desperation, like we can't let this be our last game. We've come too far. We've overcome too many obstacles, as Joe said already, and we just got to play our best and just, you know what I'm saying, to get in the championship game.
Okay, let's get into a little bit of Treson and his merry travels. Talking to you a little bit, you said you're planning on taking trips to Nebraska. What other schools, let's say, are you interested in at this point, and who's interested in you?
Well, there's lots of them that's interested in me. I just told them, you guys have to wait until I finish my senior season. There's schools like USC, Nebraska, Wisconsin, Colorado, Colorado State, UNLV. Just so many schools recruiting right now. I mean, I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet until after the season.
Okay, Treson, I'm sure we're going to see you next week in the final. It'll either be Altaloma or Paloma Valley, depending upon who wins tomorrow night's game. Once again, Rancho Cucamonga wins tonight, 38-28. We'll be back to wrap this game up right after these words.
Creating a successful social event can be very labor-intensive.
It was easy with Class A party supplies and rental, and everyone's having a great time.
At Class A Party Supply and Rental, we'll coordinate everything, handle setup and delivery, so you can have a stress-free soiree. With our own supply store, we give you the best prices on everything you need for a rousing success.
This holiday season, call our party planners and make your party a stress-free success.
Class A Party Supply and Rental on Regis Court in Rancho Cucamonga, north of Foothill, west of Haven.
Empire Nissan is the #1 seller of Nissans in the Inland Empire. The all-new 2000s are here, but we also have a huge selection of used cars. Take advantage of our first-time buyer financing. What's more, high school students and their families get fleet sale prices when they see Joe Sartor or Pervez Wazi. Empire Nissan is located in the Ontario Auto Center. Mention this ad at the time of purchase, and Empire Nissan will donate $100 to the high school of your choice. Empire Nissan is your hometown dealer, and that's why we're...
Well, what a finish to a great season. Not over yet. It's over for Temecula Valley. Unfortunately, they come up short in the semifinals again, Rich, but what heart shown by the Temecula Valley Golden Bears. They looked like they were going to get blown out, came back a little bit in the first half. In the second half, got within 3 points, but then they really shot themselves in the foot, and it was the foot that let them down. A punt, that bad punt, and Sam Thorpe, what a heads-up play by the linebacker of Rancho to jump on that ball.
Oh, I agree, and they were all on the sideline yelling to him to pick it up and run it in. And it's a shame to see any kind of a season end or get stalled on that. I had a moment to talk with Coach Bud Kane over there, and I told him that I thought it was a shame it came down like that, and he said, well, we shouldn't even been punting that situation. That was the drive they needed to go and get back into the game and go ahead.
Well, for Rancho Cucamonga, a scare was thrown into them tonight, and I got to say something. They've really got to shore up some of those holes that Pete Foti had talked about against Altaloma or Paloma Valley. Whoever it is, those two teams can really score some points.
I agree. It seems like the defensive end of Rancho Cucamonga has been one of the, let's say, sore spots all year. They've given up points, and they've given them up in a hurry. And being on the sidelines, you kind of see what's going on, and it's just helter-skelter over here when they start giving up the points. They need to learn to compose more quickly.
Well, some guys came up big. Joe Valerie, the young sophomore, and congratulations to Jarrett Brown. 38-28. We don't know what's going on with the other score, but it would be pretty awesome to have Altaloma and Rancho Cucamonga in the final. And I was talking to some of the folks. They said if it was that big of a game, this stadium probably wouldn't be big enough to have the game. They'd probably move it to someplace like Citrus College, and we've been there before.
Yes, we were there for our very first CIF championship game. That was JW North against the Chino Cowboys, and I'd rather have it here, Rod. It's a little closer to my real job.
Well, I'm sure they'll take that into consideration, Rich. Hey, I want to thank everybody who worked on it, Roddy Medina and the crew, and just the game looked great, and hope everybody enjoyed it at home. For Carl Beach and Rich Gardner, I'm Rod Schemp, thanking you for being with us here tonight, where the Rancho Cucamonga Cougars advanced to the championship game by virtue of their 38-28 victory over Temecula Valley. You be sure and join us next time right here on Channel 54 for the High School Game of the Week. Cougars. He has over 74% of their offensive output, including 31 touchdowns, 7 on the ground and 24 through the air. All that tonight on the Game of the Week.
Charter Communications presents the High School Game of the Week. Brought to you by Alliance Transmissions of Riverside, AMF Riverside Lanes, Arlington Mortuary, Castle Amusement Park, Country Time RV Center, Fritz Ford, Ken Sporting Goods, Lake Alice Trading Company, Muller Hood Pontiac Buick, Riverside County's Credit Union, Bud's Tire Pros, and Ancho's Southwest Grill.
From Corona High School, it's the Corona Panthers taking on the Rancho Cucamonga Cougars in round 2 of CIF Southern Section Division 5 Championship Football Playoffs. Hi once again, everyone. I'm Rod Shemp, and along with Carl Beach and Rich Gardner, happy to bring you all the exciting action of tonight's game between the Mount Baldy League's number 2 team, the Rancho Cucamonga Cougars, and the number 1 seed in the tournament and the Mountain View League champion of 1999, the Corona Panthers. Carl, I've had an opportunity to see both these teams. You haven't seen Corona. I got to tell you, this kid, Tony Davis, is one of the most exciting runners we've seen. What does Rancho Cucamonga have in their playbook to stop a guy like this?
Well, Rod, I haven't seen Corona yet, but I understand that they're a high-powered offense, and Coach Beach and the defensive staff has got their work cut out for him, stopping Davis as well as probably stopping the rest of the Corona offense.
Well, Coach Fotia's throwing a little bit of a wrinkle tonight. Rather than going with 4 defensive linemen, 4 backers, and 3 defensive backs, he's opted to go with a 4-3-4 defense. Now, to me, is he saying that he expects Davis to get into the secondary, or is he planning on shutting down the pass and let Davis get his yards?
I really don't know. I mean, they've done a good job year after year of defending the run. And, you know, if they can shut down Davis and the run and force Corona to throw the ball, I think whatever schemes they come up with, that's what they're going to try and do, is to control Davis, give him some of his yards, but have control of him and make the Corona do something they don't want to do.
Well, and those of you who have watched on Channel 54 all year long know all about the Rancho Cucamonga offense. Nick Fotia, 24 touchdowns through the air, 7 on the ground. He's going to have to come up big tonight because the Cougars are minus Marino, and they're also minus Chris McKinley on the offensive side.
Well, that's right. On paper, it doesn't look very good in terms of having a ball control type offense with a running game for Rancho Cucamonga. However, Nick is a movable quarterback that can move around and create some problems on his own as a runner. So I think that Coach Ingalls may have designed some things to take advantage of his running ability as well as the tremendous passing ability that he has.
It's a matter of Rancho Cucamonga's offense being their best defense here tonight. That's the best way to keep the ball out of the hands of the high-powered running of Tony Davis. Either way, it's going to be one heck of a football game. Corona, the number 1 seed in Division 5, against the Cougars of Rancho Cucamonga. They're going to start dueling it out in moments, but first we'll have an interview with Coach Pete Fotia when we return to Corona High School right after these words.
Back here at Corona High School for the pregame show of the High School Game of the Week, as seen on Channel 54 in Rancho Cucamonga and Channel 3 in Riverside, joined by longtime coach of the Rancho Cucamonga Cougars, Pete Fotia. Pete, this is your 8th year in at least making the quarterfinals, which means you're used to not having Thanksgiving Day off.
No, actually, it's become quite a pleasant habit to be able to practice on Thursday morning Thanksgiving.
Well, last week in round 1 of CIF playoffs, you avenged last year's loss to Rancho Verde. Obviously, that's got to be an emotional charge for you coming into a very important quarterfinal game.
Yeah, you can't linger on that success too long, though. These guys are a real powerful football team, and we need to get focused and take care of our business tonight. So it was nice that we got it. It's nice that we're here tonight, and we got to play good football if we want to stay around any further.
And I'm sure you've been spending a lot of your Thanksgiving week looking at game tape, just so our audience out there understands. The coaches do exchange 2 tapes. However, I'm starting to understand that most coaches have more than 2 tapes of each particular team. What do you know about Corona? What do you feel are the keys for Rancho Cucamonga to have success tonight?
Well, it's almost silly to say we got to stop their offense. I think they have way too many offensive weapons to even consider stopping them. But if we can minimize some of their bigger successful plays and create some field position for our offense, I think we're in this football game.
Pete, I want to wish you luck in tonight's game. We, on the Charters channel in Riverside, we got to see a great Corona-Norco matchup. It was a 49-40 win for Corona, so obviously we know how explosive they are. Once again, this is head coach Pete Fotilla, 8th year in at least the quarterfinal. Obviously, he likes working on Thanksgiving week. We'll be back with one of the defensive coordinators for Corona right after these words.
The high school game of the week is brought to you by Class A Party Rentals, Enterprise Chevrolet, and Daewoo of Ontario.
Back here at Corona High School, it's the pregame show of the high school game of the week, part 2. We're joined by one of the coaches of Corona High School, defensive coordinator Bill Stacy. Bill, you came over to the program here at Corona High School 4 years ago with John Brandom. Obviously, this has to be a proud moment for you. You're pretty much, this is your graduating senior class with the defense. Let's talk a little bit about the corpse of the defense you have there. Obviously, you have 2 outstanding linebackers.
Yeah, Andy Avalos and Heath Farwell are both the best linebackers I've ever coached. I think both of them could play in the Pac-10. They do a super job on run and pass. Heath Farwell's an excellent stunner. And we also are blessed with 2 outstanding corners, Brian McCorkle and Cameron Dugenet, who cover really well. And they're all 4 going to play a big key to our success tonight.
Well, when I talked in the earlier segment with Coach Pete Fotilla of Rancho Cucamonga, obviously the coaches are looking at the game tapes all week. One thing that has to stand out in your mind is the game against Altaloma, just as much as it stands out in their mind, the game against you and Norco, where teams were successful or unsuccessful at different things. What have you seen about Rancho Cucamonga that you know you need to stop defensively?
Well, I think the first person you got to stop is their quarterback. He's the best quarterback we've seen all year, and they have 2 excellent receivers that have good speed, and they go up and catch the ball, and the quarterback puts it right there. So for us to be successful tonight, we got to stop the pass first and then the run second.
Hey, this is defensive coordinator Bill Stacy of the Corona Panthers. I want to wish you congratulations on the Mountain View League title, by the way. And by the way, Corona is the #1 seed in CIF Division 5 going into tonight's game, or going into the whole playoff bracket, rather. Rod and Mike will be back, Rod and Carl, rather, will be back right after these words.
Both teams have made their way out to the field, getting ready for what will be the final game of 1999, the final game of the century for one of these schools, Corona or Rancho Cucamonga. Carl, you have really kind of contrasting styles here tonight. Corona with a very well-balanced attack with the running of Davis, but they also put the ball into the hands of their wide receiver, Brian McCorkle. They really like to go to him. They'll also get it downfield to Barnett. And what can you say about the Cougars with Nick Fotilla? The guy has just been unbelievable. We've got some stats we're going to bring up in a little while to show you just how prolific this young man has been. But as we noticed earlier, Corona won the toss. There you see the Cougars' total offense this year, 3,685 yards, 44 touchdowns. Nick Fotilla, 2,719 yards, 74%, and 31 TDs. But first, it'll be Jarrett Brown and Marvin Clark back deep to receive the opening kickoff of tonight's football game. Steve Quintero has it teed up, and we are underway. The ball will come down to Brown at the goal line.